Hello, mate.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, I did a Black Friday. I won't tell you what the deal is. You have to look out for it on Insta and emails and the rest of it. But yeah, literally, as Rob said it, landing page was done by 12, offer created, preceded it on Instagram the other day, and yeah, it'll be out at 10 a.m. to this morning.
Yeah. There we go. Taking action. That's what we like. That's what we like. But had you not considered doing one before? Was it literally Rob's talk? You like, do you know what? I've got to do one now.
100%. There was two thought processes. One is about, like Zahida says, oh, does it devalue your thing? Do you discount it thing? But the sort of the format that Rob presented in terms of you don't devalue it, you just position it whereby someone can make you an offer, but there's a reserve somewhere. So I've created something whereby, and it's testing. If nobody takes it off, that's great. It's cool. It's just testing it. So yeah. So just see what happens. And it's something that I've never offered before, and I never will offer again. What's going to appear today?
Oh, we'll have to have a little report back next week to see if it was a grand success.
Or not.
Oh no, I didn't want to say that bit. Because I got shut down.
Yeah, no worries. Great. Right, I'm just going to the gym, guys. Enjoy.
See you later. Enjoy. What is it today? Back and tries? Back and tries or biceps and quads?
Arms and chest.
Of course it is. It's the weekend. You see Sharon by any chance? Of course it's bicep. Yeah, of course it's biceps and chest day. Of course it is, bruv.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Cheers, mate. Right, anyone else would like to... Oh, Sharon's flashing now. Well, we might as well go from one half to the better half. Let's go to Sharon. Go on then. What have you big changes that you made this week or Black Friday? Because you were talking about a Black Friday offer potentially, weren't you?
I am, and I'm going to do it. Fortunately, because I've been so productive, because we don't like to use the word busy, do we? So productive this week. I haven't actually had time to put together a landing page, but I am doing a special offer on my virtual shoots for Black Friday.
Ooh.
So I'll probably do a live later about that, but anyone can DM me about that. And I might also do something on Cyber Monday for my in-person shoots. We'll see. Ooh. So this is a bit of a one-off as well. So if anyone's intrigued by what a virtual shoot is, they can contact me.
Awesome stuff. I thought about you the other day, Sharon, not in an inappropriate way. I was going through the London Bridge train station, and there was like a weird wall, and there was it had loads of textures and like holes in it. I was like, that looks really weird. I was like, Sharon would like that. She'd tell me to put my hand gently on my knee and use the backdrop. And I didn't do it because it was commuter time. I got a bit scared.
Is that when you went past Paul's favourite shop?
I was about to say,
that.
but you know what my first question to you on that would be, don't you, James?
Which is your better side because your nose looks like a small shark?
No, what was the light like?
Oh, it was well lit. It was London Bridge, so yeah, security lights everywhere. I'd have. I mean, there could have been a few shadows, but I'd have done a little bit of Lightroom on an app. Yeah, I'd have been all right, I reckon. Next time I go through it, I'm going to take a photo. I'm going to tag you in it.
Thank you. Please do.
I'm going to say this wall is dedicated to Sharon. Not the first time her name's been on a wall, I reckon.
I haven't died, though.
Yeah. It's not a loving memory, no. It's just because I could respect the content. Awesome stuff. So, guys, if you're interested, hey, we could do that. Everyone could come and have a little pitch this morning, couldn't they? Pitch their Black Friday offer. Why not? 7:30. So if you're interested in virtual photography, touch base with Sharon. If you're interested, well, basically didn't tell us what he's offering, did he? So we can't even... Is your thing still floppy?
No, we're fixed now and we're live on YouTube, so you can actually look at Ashley's forehead, which is the only thing that appears.
Why is it Ashley so well lit? He's like angelic.
Well, because he leans forward, he's looking at his phone, but he basically lies down on the desk to look at his phone, doesn't he?
He does a little bit, but look how lovely he looks.
Yeah, but I can't see what. I need it on my screen.
That's a fair reflection on how the community sees us, I think, because there's like, I'm just sort of like a bit insignificant in the corner. You're very dark, which I think is reflective of your personality. And there's Ashley lit up and serene and a little bit angelic.
I think there's
like an Essex angel.
There's a settings issue on the camera. We'll try and fix that.
Oh, right. Okay, gang. So any big changes that you made this week, or what are you doing for Black Friday? And feel free, you can actually tell us about your offering for Black Friday. What deal are you doing for Black Friday? Why not, eh? Everyone's here contributing quite consistently. So let's go to Jag, and then we'll go to Janetta, and then we'll go to Janice.
Is that me?
Yes, you are the only Jag that I can see right now.
You know what? Nobody's ever called me Jag on Clubhouse, which is fine. I'm happy with that. Listen, hello, everyone. By the way, Paul, I think you were flying yesterday, and I really enjoyed you flying your aircraft which was amazing.
Did you actually see him in the sky? Is that where you've seen him?
You know what? No, it was on his Instagram, and I was like, what is he doing? And then I remembered that, oh yeah, he's got a plane and he does take people around or go out for his little flying area. Sorry, Paul, but I enjoyed it.
No, the weather was unbelievable yesterday. Unbelievable.
Good for flying, was it?
I actually didn't want to come down. I've got a new headset that you can connect Bluetooth to. So, you can play music.
Do you like a new bit of tech? Do you?
No, but listen to it. When you're flying on your own, you either listen to the noise of the engine,
which is brilliant for the first hour,
or nothing else. So I've got a new headset where I can connect Bluetooth to my headset. So I was listening to a podcast, flying along. Sun was out. It was beautiful. I didn't want to come down.
What were you listening to?
Spencer Lodge's podcast.
Oh, you're a fan, aren't you? Was he talking more crypto stuff? Yeah, he's good actually. To be fair, sorry, Jagdeep. Sorry,
Jagdeep. And thank you for the thank you.
I'll let you guys carry. But listen, do you know what? Last year we never did. Well, we did Black Friday, and we never made a single sale. We never did anything, so we weren't sure. Did we do it right? Did we not do it? And obviously, for our fine art print work, it just doesn't work. So we've got this other area of the business where we create like home decor, like arts and crafts, which is a bit of fun stuff that we started making because of the machinery we have in the office. And this week we thought, should we do it? Should we not? And we did. And I thought, let's just put it out. Let's have some fun. If we sell one or two products, it's not a problem. So I don't know if anybody else has got this on their phone, that when you make a sale, that all it goes is ching, 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 ching. So last night, my phone from 12 o'clock onwards, because it's only a 24-hour deal, right? All I could hear my phone was going ching, 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 ching. And it just kept me up all night. I've not looked at how many sales we've had. I've not looked at any what it is. All I know is from about midnight onwards, even until in the last 10, 15 minutes, I heard my phone go ching, ching, which means that's a sale that's been made. Now, 70% of the clients to buy these products are actually based in the US. So I'm thinking if it's the US, then that's great for them. But I think that's one thing we've done. We weren't going to do it. We tried it, and let's have some fun. Have a happy Friday today, guys.
Love that. Fantastic. What a great thing to do as well. Nice reason to be kept up all night. The sound of ching ching, sound of money dropping in your bank. I suppose you haven't got like a ching ching as like your text message sound or something like that.
Well, no, I've got notifications on the bank, and all it ever says is Paul Apple Cumble. spend this.
It's the reverse. We've got the reverse issue here. Paul loves a bit of tech. My good God.
Yeah, because the thing is, I actually think that's probably the best bank. I like that bank. I really do.
Starling.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast this morning with the Starling founder on Stephen Bartlett's podcast. Such an interesting lady. I'm trying to get her on for this actually. So I spoke to her PR person. We couldn't have our normal nonsense, could we? She's fantastic.
I just thought, it's taken like online banking and all that. I don't know.
Do you know the other person who's involved in that very early was Tom, the founder of Monza. So he was her chief technical officer, and they had a big fallout. So she went and carried on with Starling, and he created Monza. So basically, the digital banking sector in Britain was created by this big fallout. It's really, really interesting. Anyway, we'll try and get her on sometime. Anne Bowden, she's called. Anne Bowden. She's like a 5-foot Welsh woman who started the business at like 54. She's like, people like me don't get investment for tech companies. But she's like a real expert. She's got a computer science degree, and she's writes code. She's like, everyone just thought I was just this sort of doddery lady and didn't really know what I was doing. Didn't realise that I could code. And actually, when they're talking sort of tech, I understand every word that they're saying. It's really, really good story actually.
What's interesting is how they've. When a year and a half ago with Starling, you could open an account almost instantly, literally really quick.
Yeah.
Now they're starting to slow down, so they're starting to fall back into the mode of
standard banks,
a normal bank.
Yeah. I mean, it's still 2-day turnaround, isn't it? At the moment,
it's like Metro. You can open a bank sitting in there, walk out of a card
with the cards. That was it, yeah.
And then now
I think with Metro, you didn't even have to go inside, did you? You could stand at the window and ask for an account, and then chuck out a bank card.
As long as you had a dog, you had a dog you could take in there, they'll just give you a card and some cash.
It was like, have you got ID? I said, yeah, at home. They said, no worries.
Do you not know me? I'm Ashley Shipman. Okay, sir, could you just say lovely for me? Lovely. No, it's him. That's fine. Yes, okay, right, let's go to Janetta. Janetta, what changes have you made this week, or what Black Friday stuff you up to?
Morning, everybody. Mine is quite a biggie for me because I haven't been home to Kenya for some time. And this week I booked my ticket to go there and be able to present to some corporates whilst I'm there. Yay! And also, I'm going to be a grandmother again. So my youngest daughter is having a baby. So January, I'm off to Kenya. And that was the big step this week with all the COVID stuff. And so, wow, what a week it's been. So that's mine.
Well done, Granny Janetta. Fantastic. Thank you very much. What a lovely show. What are you? You're a granny, a grandma? And I bet you're a grandma, aren't you?
Thank you, son. It's really kind of you to have me here.
You are welcome. Don't you worry about it. Are you? What do we call you? Are you a nanny? Are you a granny? Are you a grandma? What's the wording?
I have a Swahili name, which is Mimi.
Mimi. Oh, I like that. Okay, from now on, for the rest of the day, no one called Janetta. For Black Friday, we're calling her Mimi. Okay? Actually, Shipman, have you got the memo there? Can you remember that?
Mimi.
Okay, Janetta's flashing. Or, okay.
Thanks you.
There you go.
We'll speak again.
We will speak again. Happy Friday to you, Mimi. Right, Janice, we're coming to you before the 7 o'clock hour. What big changes have you made in your life this week? Or what Black Friday stuff are you up to?
Well, I'm Nanny Jan because I am a grandma as well. And you said doddery at 54.
That was her words, not mine. That was her words, not mine.
Yeah, we're not doddery at 54. We're incredible at 64. So there you go. Big changes for me this week are I've just been so much more visible and, business seriously. And if anyone can go onto my LinkedIn and go onto my poll, because that's what I'm going to be pushing. So the poll is about what is it that people need in work at the moment. So is it optimism? Is it well-being? Is it resilience? Is it team building? So that I've got a really good idea about what businesses are asking for going into the new year. So yeah, I've just been out there. I've just been a lot more visible, and I'm starting a room on Sunday with some of the wonderful people from this room because you're no longer there. So somebody's got to. We need our weekend fix. Hello.
Christ, jumped in our grave, didn't you? We've not even gone a full week in loving memory, and you're already there. Jumped in our grave. The body's not even cold. God damn it. Awesome stuff. Yeah, we hope that someone would fill the Saturday and the Sunday slot because you guys need the fix. So why not use that?
Well, I was saying this morning, it's been 11 months probably since this is the first weekend off.
Oh yeah, it would be. Yeah. Other than it was January the 6th or something, wasn't it? It was the first Sunday that we ran. Yeah, wow.
So since then, it's the first weekend off.
First full weekend off. What are you going to do your weekend off?
Well, the thing is I just carry on doing what I'm doing, but it won't. I don't have to try and multitask. And I'm trying to have a walk with a few fellas, and it's yeah.
I thought, this is going to be good. I'll have like a relaxed weekend. No, my wife was like, she did it in front of the kids as well. You know, one of them ones where you can't say no. She's like, would you like to put the Christmas tree up this weekend?
As was up 3 weeks.
Tell Daddy you'd like to put the Christmas. I was like, it's not December. Don't make it like you. By law, you shouldn't be allowed to play the Michael Bublé Christmas album before the 1st of December.
Mine was up last weekend.
Yeah,
Christmas tree.
But you didn't put it up there, did you? Did you get hire help in?
No, I'd done the arch over the doorway.
Oh, he's done the arch, everyone.
Done the arch.
What about the actual tree? How many trees have you got in your gaff?
3.
Okay. How many trees? Charlotte goes mad for Christmas, didn't she?
What the reason I don't want her to put it up early, and it's not because I'm being the Grinch. What it is that she will sit there and go, do you know what else we need? I'm like, no, we don't need nothing else. And then she'd be like, then I'd come home that night, and there'd be a new something there. Or she'd go walking around and think, that Christmas tree looks better. So there'd be a new Christmas tree going up, and the other one would be going out. And I'm like, but what happens is she sits there and finds ways to see how we come to the studio every Friday and something has changed.
Charlotte's like that.
Charlotte is like that.
She's like Christmas Paul. She's basically Christmas Paul.
If you mate, having you two around, imagine you two together, mate, it would just be a change.
I put the lights on my Christmas tree. That's about all I do. So I put the lights on and then leave it to the others
to beautify it.
Yeah, and they put all the...
Are they electric and run by your phone?
No, but we can say, Alexa, turn the Christmas lights off, and it turns them all off.
Oh, that is cool. I tried to play.
You can do that. A little smart plug from Amazon, like because
because
we first world problems all that. Had a few trees. You used to have to walk around when you was going to bed. You used to walk around and turn everything off, and then we had all sorts of other stuff. So now I just buy the little Amazon plugs and then configure Alexa to group them as Christmas lights, and then you just have to say Christmas lights on or Christmas lights off.
Oh, that's good though.
And they all come on and off at the same time.
Oh, that's quite festive. I quite like that. Yes, that's what we're doing this weekend. Christmas decorating.
Give us a flash of Mike if you've got your tree up already. It's just Susan. Who else? Matt.
A couple. I saw someone who'd put it
I might
up.
get one in here. I'm going to get one in here.
Oh, that's a
in
nice
the corner.
idea. Yeah, good idea.
Christmas tree.
Very festive. Very festive.
So me and James can get excited with what presents are going to be under there.
Yeah. keep your hopes up for that, mate. We had one of our neighbours the day after Halloween finished put their Christmas tree up. I'm like, that's fully 2 months of Christmas trees. Like, that's just too much, isn't it?
Charlotte told me the rules have changed due to COVID and things like that. It's now acceptable, apparently.
Who sets the rules?
Charlotte in her head. Charlotte in her head.
Because the COVID is different. Oh, brilliant. Right, we're going to have a quick reset. We'll be back after this.
You are listening to exclusive content direct from the Winners Club. If you are enjoying the conversation, click on the green Monopoly house at the top of the screen right now and join the thousands of winners already in our community. For even more actionable content and powerful lessons, download the free companion app now. Just search for the Winners Club in the App Store or Google Play. For more information about the Winners Club and how to become part of our growing community, head to thewinnersclub.club. Now, back to the show.
Right, gang, you can now, if you're enjoying this conversation, you can watch as well as listen. What? Did he say watch? Yeah, I did. You can go and click the little button at the top of the screen right now. Click the link tree, and the top button in the link tree is to go and watch the live stream. You can see beautiful Paul Apple Crumble. You can see handsome Ashley Shipman, and you can see... I think I'm getting receding hair. From that angle there. Why have I got that? What's that V doing? Where's that hair going? My hair is trying to my front hair is trying to run to the back of my head. Absolutely livid. If there's any Black Friday deals for hair plugs, I'm in. I'm just saying. I don't know what Beiju wasn't specific about his offering, but if he includes hair plugs, he can include me. I'm in. Hey, talking of Black Friday. I know it's not a Black Friday offer, but people can still get the EMC recordings now. So if you've heard us talking in this room about EMC...
Only until Tuesday, I think.
Yes.
End of the month. When's the end of the month?
Let's just pretend it's for today, because it's Black Friday. For only today. It's not only for today. But you can get the EMC recordings if you were at EMC and you got mega value, but you've probably implemented 1% of the stuff that you heard on the day or over that weekend. Or if you were not able to make it down, or if you're in one of the other countries around the world and you couldn't make it into the UK for EMC, we have got exclusive access to the EMC recordings for 2021. And we've actually got a discounted rate. It's going to go up on proper sale next week, I think, from Matty Wilson and the Einstein marketing team from the 1st of December. And Matty, he don't do discounts, but it's only available to us. We managed to negotiate him down. So we've got a discount rate. I think it's like 50 or 100 quid cheaper than it's going to be to the mailing list and everywhere else. So if you want to get to the EMC recordings, click the link at the top of the screen now. And then you can go to Linktree, and there's a little button on there which says EMC recordings, and you can find out more information there. Go and check it out. Really worth getting. 23 hours worth of content, I think it is, for about 100 quid, isn't it? It's 100 quid, something like that?
Something £99 plus
£99, there you go. £4 a video. £4 a video. How about that? £4 a video. Black Friday, £4 a video. I don't know what I'm talking about. Right, we've got about another 20 minutes until the wonderful poetess Jess. Yes, oh yes, she's coming to Ilford. Can you guess? She's going to be... I would love it.
Paul, are them
we should
voice notes, are they safe?
I'm going to have to listen to see.
I listened back to him just to double check that I didn't say anything fruiting. They're okay.
They're okay.
They are okay.
You got. So I don't know how to do the tech your side, but
there might be the world exclusive of my slam poetry today, guys, because it's Black Friday. It's quite a big deal. Quite a big deal.
I've got a plan with Jessie's here because she's going to have to give us.
Oh, she's going to have to give us a rating.
Give us a rating and a review.
We should all write a poem. We should do like a poem workshop this morning. That'd be good, wouldn't it? That went down well. Right then. Until 7:30, gang, we're going to be talking this morning about what big changes have you made this week? Because we made some big changes. We changed up the content, the format of the content, and how we're running the rooms. We've got rid of after this week, we've finished the afternoon rooms. We're only focusing now. All of our attention, focus, love and time is going into Breakfast with Winners as the flagship show. We've got some more tactical and tangible content. Can you turn these cameras off? Because everywhere I look, there's just receding hairline. This is so bad for my ego. In my mind, I'm a much more handsome man than I am in reality. Look, I do look like a shark from the side, don't I? Look at that. I've got like a big lump in my nose, and there's a hook at the bottom of it. It looks like I'm looking for truffles. Where's the truffles, James?
We all need a lesson in reality every now and then.
Yeah, that's true. Wow, back down to earth with a bump. Right, so, Bonds and Speakers, give us a flash. What have you changed this week? What big changes have you made? And or what are you doing for Black Friday? Were you inspired by the content earlier this week to create a Black Friday offer that you could put out to your list? Were you going to do it before? Were you always going to do it? What's your Black Friday offer? You can come up on stage. I know this is a no-pitch room, but tell us about it. If you've got a Black Friday offer, come up on stage and tell us about it. It's a bit difficult to work out who's actually flashing this morning because that flipping app is doing that glitchy thing again, isn't it? Do you see? I can't see who's flashing. Is anybody flashing? You just unmic and say hello if you're looking to share.
Toby's flashing.
Toby.
Did he sort out the problem yesterday, Toby?
I did. That's what I was going to say.
Yes, of course.
Me towards Tim Ferriss's TEDx talk and the fear setting. So I did go through that. I did the exercise. I wrote it all down. I then rang the 9 problems that I've got, and Mrs. Jackson dealt with it. It went down brilliantly. Bar Mrs. Jackson wants to keep me on board with what we're saying, which isn't going to happen. But I did sort the problem, and it was down to that TEDx and Tim Ferriss's. I've heard it so many times in this room. People have said, sort of, write it down. What if that comes to fruition? What's the fear of taking action? How can I prevent it? How can I prepare it? But actually doing it is phenomenal. So I did sort the 9 problems, and thankfully it's dealt with.
Oh, that is fantastic. And so what was the... Just for those who haven't watched it before, can you summarise the Tim Ferriss concept of fear setting? So it's basically you set the intention sort of almost with the worst case viewpoint, don't you? Is that how it works? Like what's the worst that can happen in this situation?
Yeah. What if his example was, what if I take this holiday? And then 3 columns writing down, what's the fear of taking the action? How can I prevent the fear from happening? And how can I repair it if it were to happen? And then he goes on the benefit or a partial, and then going on to the cost of inaction. So the emotional, the physical, the financial, whether it be 6 months, 1 year or 3 months, and just putting it down, seeing it. I'm not very to put it on paper. So actually having those things to do, that sort of the cost of the inaction.
Wait, what order did you? Did you?
Did.
Interesting. React to, because I know you sort of share those who work sort of a lettings business and estate agency, and part of it is that they do block management for sort of combined units. I don't know if you've got that sort of thing in the States. Probably not. It's done a little bit differently, isn't it? But if you live in a block of flats or a block of apartments in the UK, there'll be a management company that looks after that block, and that's what Toby's company does. But he's got one block in particular that's a real headache. I think there's 9 units in there, and of the 9 units, there's 8 headaches and 1 lovely old lady, and he's been basically doing it for too long because he didn't want to upset the lovely old lady, because he's looked after her for years, and he's basically stayed in that situation for too long just to look after her. But he's got to a point now where it's taken up too much time, energy and focus, and he had to basically sack the client or find out an alternative way. So what was the feedback from everybody?
So there's 10 units, 9 problems, and Mr. Jackson being the one good one. One of the 9 problems, I think someone said in the room that I may be the problem, and one of them was very much you're the problem. 8 of them were sort of, we don't want you to go, but we understand you're going. So my tactic was, I'm going in a different direction, and 8 of them accepted that, understood it. I gave them 2 recommendations as sort of guys that I trust and will give them sort of what they want and they need. and Mrs. Jackson, bless her, tried to pay me to keep her on board, or wanted to pay me personally to keep me on board.
Oh, bless her. But you've exited that, and by the new year, that headache is gone, so you can focus your time, effort, and energy onto other stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 months' notice, and it can't come soon enough. But 3 months, and I can serve those who sort of actually need it, want it, and I want to work with. I want to do it for those who I want to do it with, do it for.
Awesome stuff. How did you feel when you made that final call? You're like, oh, thank God it's done.
Yeah. The chains came off. It was unbelievable relief. And I should have done it months ago. I know that, but you guys in this room are the ones that sort of kicked me up the arse to do it. So massive relief, and be a good month.
Awesome stuff. Well done, Winners Club. We've made an impact this week. We've saved Toby a few headaches, and if that's all we've done, it's been worth the effort, hasn't it? It's been worth the 5 o'clock in the morning starts to help Toby.
100%.
Right then, mods and speakers, popcorn styling. We've got about 15 more minutes until we've got the wonderful poetess Jess. She's coming in live to Ilford. She's coming into the studio. We're going to find out a bit more about this Mobo performing commercial exponent of the craft of poetry. And spoken word poetry. We're going to find out a bit about her backstory. I listened to a podcast yesterday where she was interviewed and sort of told a bit of her backstory. Really interesting. She does some really super cool stuff. So yes, but until she arrives, we're talking this morning about big changes you made this week, because we made some big shifts to the Winners Club this week with the content, and we hope that everyone's enjoying that moving forwards. And also, if you haven't made a big change this week, you are more than welcome to share what you're doing for Black Friday, because we had some Black Friday content earlier on this week, creating compelling offers. And the feedback was that a lot of people were like, I wasn't going to do Black Friday, but now I am. So if you're doing a Black Friday offer, you can come and share that as well. So give us a flash of the mic if you'd like to share your big change or your Black Friday offer. Susan Stocker, Queen of the Intergalactical Universe, what are you doing for Black Friday?
Oh, thank you, James. And Toby, that's great to hear. I love when someone tells us the feedback from what they've done. So thanks, guys. I'm not going to talk about anything Black Friday offer other than to say what I've really learned this week, and I'm now investing. I'm going to invest so much into people's Black Friday offers, because what I've really learned, recent course that I've been doing, that someone actually gave me, by the way, for free to do this, because they was invested in my future, and it's a hell of a lot of money. One of the key things I learned in this course was, if you want people to invest in you, if people are coming up now and they're talking about their offers, if you want people to invest in you, you've got to invest in yourself, and you've got to invest in other people, because I'm a firm believer in what goes around comes around. So yesterday, for example, I ordered Alison's book. I signed up to Rob's thing. I couldn't get on your guys' things, but I've done it this morning. I've done it about 6 a.m. this morning. So I've downloaded the EMC because I missed the whole Friday, right? So now I've got Rob Moore, I've got Matt's, I've got Steve Bartlett's, incredible ones I unfortunately missed out on Friday. So now I've got them for like £99. I don't think twice about buying a film for 20 quid. I don't think twice about getting an Amazon Prime $3.99 video. And so, we come here every day, and that's what I'm going to say. I know you don't plug too much, and I'm not doing it to plug you guys, but we come on here for 2-3 hours. You've sold so much business in my eyes for what I do. So it's so important to give back. So not only to you guys and the people that come in the room, and I do buy people's books, I do invest in that, because I know that when I launch my new business, I want people to invest in me. They're not going to if I don't invest in other people. So that's what I've learned, James. Take advantage of people's Black Friday deals if it's going to benefit you, obviously. Don't just go around buying shit and start getting broke. But if it's going to benefit you, you should be buying it. You should be doing it, because you never know when you've got something to offer. That's what happens. That's the universal laws, okay? That's what you need to do in order for people to invest in you. So it's very important I say that this morning, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to invest in myself.
Working.
Awesome stuff. Watch instantly Susan's DMs get filled up with everyone with an offer. Easy sell right there. Start your message if you're going to sell to Susan, by the way. Start your message with "love your energy." She's in. She's a goner. You've got her at energy, I reckon. Lads, what can we sell Susan? We've got nothing, have we? Got anything we can sell her? Black Friday? No. Oh, there's a VIP tour of Ilford. I don't know if we told you about that, Susan. There's
it's normally £3,000, but today it's 47.
47 quid. It's always ends with a
I'm on
seven.
my way.
I can't say it. I've just spat all over the microphone. I can't say what it was in relation to, but it did make me laugh what Ashley wanted to do with my office downstairs.
I thought it was very intuitive. I'll give him that.
I was looking.
Oh my god, that's big. That's a big news for this week, isn't it? We can't talk about it yet, but that is big.
Monday, hopefully, we can say by Monday.
Yeah.
Can we say just a date? No.
We might or might not have a very, very, very well respected international keynote speaker who's one of the top experts in his area in the world coming to London for a one-off thing. That's all we can say.
A little Christmas party with us.
Yeah,
a little Christmas party. You guys wanted a Christmas party? We've got you a Christmas party. You didn't ask for it to be at a stadium? Chances are it's going to be at a stadium. But whatever, we can't say no more. Can't say no more. So we're working behind the scenes to make something cool happen. Verylastminute.com is going to be all hands to the pump. Is that still the thing? I don't know. All hands to the pump to make it happen. But yes, we've got something lovely lined up.
It was another example yesterday. I went to Captain Miserable. I said, if not, I'll get someone tomorrow all day to do something. Ash, it's in hand. I'm like, okay. But I know how it was. I know how it was said to me. Like I know,
one man, one job.
I read messages and I'm like, I know how that was said, and I know how he looked when he was typing it.
Oh, good God. Yeah, so yesterday we needed a venue last minute, and obviously we needed a central London venue, and obviously we need it in the middle of December, and we need it in the evening, and there's not many central London venues in the middle of December which aren't already doing Christmas parties. So
they're set up in the way that we want.
They're set up, yeah, because we need it in a
can accommodate the
way.
amount of people that we want.
So I said, I've got a couple of mates in PR who do these sorts of like launches in these sorts of cool venues. Let me reach out to a couple of them, and I'll just reach out to them and see if they've got any good venues. Oh, we've got a couple, by the way. I'll send you the message later. Paul's like, I've actually used a company before, so just leave it to me. I'll sort it out. Other than your PR mates. So like, okay, cool. And then Ash was like, I can get Maria to phone around all the venues, and Paul's like, no, I've already done it. But I mean, if we're struggling, then Paul's like, no, I've done it.
What makes me think is that what winds me up is that cause I used to get this quite a lot. He thinks that Maria's going to get a different result to what I got. Like,
no.
You ask them, then they're booked, but yet you get somebody else to phone them and they're not booked. Well, no, that's not going to work, is it? I'm certainly not the person that takes no for an answer lightly, so I will try and find a workaround for it.
It's
your assumption that Maria is going to get a different result by carrying out the same actions.
So there's like a Christmas party. You might as well say the date. Yeah, or no?
Oh, you've said it now, haven't you? You said that there's a date, 16th of December.
16th of December.
16th of December, Central London. Keep your diaries free. That's all we can say.
Central-ish
London.
And this was what... So anyway, we're trying to put this event on. We might as well... We just won't say names yet, but we're trying to put this event on. And it's going to happen on the 16th of December, and we needed a venue. So Ashley decides, oh yeah, we'll use Paul's office block. It wasn't quite what we was going for, but yeah, I get the idea.
But if you knew the conversation that I had, if anyone realised I got cut short from the room yesterday... Someone was ringing me, he's not the sort of person that would be ringing you, and I'm like, wonder what that person wants.
Yeah,
like back to back,
and then I was just like, oh yeah, brilliant. And then
was it Boris Johnson's office ringing you to talk about Peppa Pig?
We've all been to Peppa Pig, well, as we should. So yes, but to be fair, to Ashley's credit. Maybe he didn't get the memo and like going for like super classy high end, and then he still wanted to stick the event in Ilford. No, but I could see that if nothing else is available, you have got 20,000 square foot of space that is still TBC. So it's either going to be a roller disco or it can be an event space. So I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm with Ashley on this one.
What I was trying to do is overcome objections, just to say like there's options here. But we will go look there first.
It looks like we found somewhere. So we'll see. I'm due to get confirmation back today on the venue. So if we get that.
Oh, we're getting that. Going to hear back today on that.
And it is actually...
well, it's available. I know they know it's available, but they had to get permission for us to use it.
Ooh.
I did that.
Have we messaged our pal to let her know? You know our mate?
Sort of.
Yeah, okay.
I'm excited.
Yeah, if we can pull it off. It's lastminute.com, but if we can pull it off, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We'd get it all confirmed today. We could do it as a Black Friday offer, couldn't we? Not going to happen.
Yeah, but it will actually be limited numbers.
Yes. Can't say how limited.
Yeah, but there will be.
Oh, I tell you what, though, looking at Central London, it's little cinemas. That's a cool thing to do, isn't it? You just hire your own little cinema.
Well, little ones.
Well, not, I mean, like 70 people. But you could, like, they're only like 300 or 400 quid an hour.
So Paul and his family can just have one.
They can just have one each. Like, if Paul's home cinema becomes inferior, he could go into Soho and have a bigger cinema. But you used to knock about in all them sort of
turns
places,
out,
didn't
you would not believe, I must have contacted... Well, it was in the 20s.
I see the number, mate. I know how it got sent
It was
to me.
in the 20s.
I know how it got sent to me in text.
I contacted every single private cinema you can think of in London yesterday, and they were all booked on that night. Can you believe it?
All doing Christmas film
Most of them
screenings.
are playing Christmas films.
That's
Who does
wicked.
that? Who wants to go to...
Oh, that'd be well nice.
What, you want to go and watch Elf again? Or,
Yeah.
you know, Home Alone?
I don't know if I've ever watched Elf from beginning to end in one sitting.
Do you know the angry elf bit? Where he's an angry elf. And have you not seen that bit? No.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I used to get
So
called.
if you are a private cinema owner in central London and you're not available and you're vacant on the 16th of
Paul, I don't know why you're asking, mate, because
December.
what you've got into talks with, you're going to make happen.
Well,
100%.
100%.
I think Poe takes Jesse here. I've got to go and take this call.
it could, yeah, but the price could be too much though, so we don't know. We don't know.
We're definitely going.
We don't know. We don't know, so we'll find out.
But yeah, give us a flash of mics if you're there.
Reserve the date, 16th, Thursday, the 16th of December in London. We're gonna put a little shindig on for you.
Yeah, so
if we can pull it off.
Yeah, so we've got a Christmas party for the Winners Club, plus a special guest.
Isn't the 16th for Wednesday?
It's Thursday.
Thursday. Oh, brilliant. Oh, that means I can come there.
You had to make me look, but it's definitely a Thursday.
Yeah, it's a Thursday. It's only that this is quite a one-off chance. This could happen. And it got agreed yesterday.
There's a few stars that have to align first, but we'll try and align them today.
Yeah.
We'll do our best. And we'll let everyone know. But reserve the date, 16th of December. That's all we can say at the moment.
Yeah.
At a secret London venue.
Yeah, it's got to be kept secret in a minute. Yeah, lovely. So, is that poetess Jess coming in?
I think so. I think she's downstairs. James is shot off to go down and open the door. So, yeah, this is the bit where you have to do some talking, Ashley, and you have to handle the show. This is where you practice your radio presentation skills.
So lovely. Let's rock and roll. So, Paul, please. Oh, you couldn't play. Have you got them voice notes prepared?
I've got to listen to them because some of them are quite bad. I know what James is saying, but I've actually got I'm trying to protect his interests as best as I can. So as soon as he comes back in and Jess sits down, I'm going to listen again to the ones.
He was making poems about me and you, wasn't he?
Yes, but they're yes. Yes.
I was in stitches. It was back to back.
So about 9 o'clock last night, what happened is there was a flurry of text messages in our little group and there was an exchange of conversation. Usually that happens before the night before the show because we work out what's going on and get all aligned on what's going on. So we was discussing this morning's show and a few messages were exchanged and James decided to reply back to every message with a poem that he'd just created there and then. Which actually, to be fair to him,
they were bad.
His poetry skills is not quite bad. The way he was presenting his slang left a lot to be desired. Someone's got a cough. Little Benelin will sort that out. Yeah, his poetry skills were not that bad, to be fair. But the way he delivered it was shocking. I'm gonna listen. I'm not gonna play them before listening to them, and I can't listen to them while I'm doing this. So when he comes back in, I'm going to listen to them one more time, and then I'll try and pick the ones that we can play.
Yes,
because some of them were not. Some of them were not the were not the best, to be honest.
I probably just got lost in it. I was just in pieces.
Yeah, you do tend to do that, don't you? You do tend to. Anyway, we were talking wins of the weeks. Let's get another one off of somebody. Flash your microphones.
Changes, big changes.
Big changes that you've made this week or making changes. I'm going to come to Croz because Croz is flashing. Good morning, Croz.
Good morning. Good morning. I actually had a Black Friday offer. I don't know if that's still available. Is it to sort of mention?
Yeah, go for it, mate. Go for it.
Yeah. Well, for a long, long time now, everybody knows all the quotes, all the bits about positive thinking, this, that, and the other. And I've made it my mission over 30 years to find out how to actually apply this information so that you get results. So on the 10th of December, 6 days before the magical event from Winners Club, on the 10th of December, I've got a workshop online from 10 o'clock till 4 o'clock, and it goes through the whole gambit of all this information that you've heard before. We deprogram you and reprogram you with the way to make it work. And that's for Winners Club members, 30% discount. Just put mindset in capital letters into the when you get your ticket. It's only 75 quid to start with. I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to, spread this message. So anyone that wants to do that, DM me or contact me on Instagram, and I'll send you the link. And the more the merrier. But I guarantee that by the end of the day, you will get such an awakening on how to apply all this stuff that we keep hearing and saying. And when the people sitting there scratching their head saying, well, I can't never get it to work. I can't seem to get it to work. And there is a formula, trust me. So anybody that's interested in that, DM me, Instagram me, and I'll send you the link and you can have a 30% discount. Let's do it. How's that?
30% discount, and he claps down. You sound like a fishmonger there, Cos. I'm really Let's do it. How about that? Let's do it. Right, we're going to have a quick reset and then we'll be back. The one and only Poetess Jess is in the building.
You are listening to exclusive content direct from the Winners Club. If you are enjoying the conversation, click on the green Monopoly house at the top of the screen right now and join the thousands of winners already in our community. For even more actionable content and powerful lessons, download the free companion app now. Just search for the Winners Club in the App Store or Google Play. For more information about the Winners Club and how to become part of our growing community, head to thewinnersclub.club. Now, back to the show.
Back to the show indeed. Thank you everyone so far for your fantastic Black Friday shares. It's been good to hear. Good to hear your changes as well. We've had announcements of being a grandma. We've had Cros's let's do it, fishmonger sales pitch. I love that. Brilliant. But it's great to hear that so many people have actually decided this week to do a Black Friday offer after hearing the content on Wednesday. So we intentionally brought Alison in to talk about sort of sales and conversions and her 4-pillar tactics. And then Rob coming in to talk about how to actually create a compelling offer. And it was brilliant because on the day, so many people are like, I'm going to do one now. You always get that mixture of people who say they're going to do stuff, but then don't go and do it. So it's great to hear so many people have actually gone and done it. But we are moving the conversation forward, gang, because we've now got a fantastic guest in the building. She has been on Clubhouse since probably about a year or so now, I guess.
Less than a year.
Still less than a year. She was already out there doing her thing before, but I think her awareness has definitely blown up because of this. If there was ever a platform for someone that was going to work, it was going to be Clubhouse, and it was going to be Poetess Jess. So, ladies and gentlemen, give her a flash of light. She's only gone and arrived at the studio. Poetess Jess is here, everybody. So I know there's a lot of excited people. You've got a lot of... God, that round of applause then quickly, doesn't it? Oh, there you go. I had a little fade out. So I pressed the button too quick. So a lot of people will know of Poetess Jess. Poetess Jess, tell us, who is Poetess Jess and how did you become the poetess called Jess?
So my name is obviously Jessica. How did I become Poetess Jess? So it's a bit of an oxymoron, but I'm actually a poet that doesn't like poetry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not really into the whole poetry,
thing.
Yeah, the thing. Yeah. I didn't want to do poetry. I never, growing up, I wanted to be a grime artist.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved grime music. My cousin's Kano.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So those that know Kano, or if you watch Top Boy and you know who Sully is Kano, yeah, that's my cousin. So I always aspired to be a grime artist in secondary school. So I grew up in these ends. Like I drive past here nearly every day. So it's so weird when you sent me the address. I was like, oh wow, it's literally up the road and around the corner. So yeah, I wanted to be a grime artist, and because there was no, at the time when grime was on the rise, there was no there was no girls doing grime. It was just strictly a guy thing.
Yeah.
And it was more about postcode ends, gangs, not how it's gang affiliated now, but more gang through words, sort of thing, not through fighting. So I wanted to be a grime artist, and I was like, yes. I remember I think I was in year 10, and I want to say it was year 10, and I was in the playground. And what the boys would do is they would spit bars over an instrumental. So they would have this instrumental beat, and all the guys would just huddle together, and they would just be bopping their heads like, yeah, getting ready to spit bars. So I found that fascinating, because even when they would like cuss each other's mums, I was like, how did you think about that to say about his mum? It was just brilliant. The wordplay, the substance, everything was just phenomenal. I was just blown away by it. And that's what I wanted to do. And because people knew that Kano was my cousin as well, it was like, yeah, it's in my blood. I should be able to do it. So I remember I practiced over this, the latest instrumental that went out, because them times it wasn't really about songs that come, like this drill music. It was about the instrumental and who could spit hard on the instrumental, like a 16 bar, 32. And
Would it be the same instrumental? So everyone had the same...
Everyone had the same instrumental.
Okay,
right.
But
you just came with different lyrics.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
So I was like, I'm doing it, break time. So I remember I went home, and I think for about a week and a bit, I was just in the mirror trying to get my words right, what I was going to say. And you know when you plan a script in your head and you can just envision people being like, yeah, she's hard. So break time now, I went where the guys were, and we was in a huddle, and everyone was bopping their heads, and I was like, yeah. And one by one, all the guys would go around spitting bars, and I remember it got to me, and I was ready for because with an instrumental you kind of got to go with the beat, so you've got to wait for the beat to drop for you to come in. Unless you was a professional, you could just come in straight away, but normally it's depending on how long your bar is, or say a sentence is, for those that don't know what a bar is basically one sentence. You would wait for the beat, and then you would come in on the beat. So when it got to me, I was like, yeah, definitely, I'm going in, I'm ready. Got to me now, flopped. Absolutely shattered my whole dreams of becoming a grime artist in the UK.
What, just didn't get the words out, or?
I couldn't do it on beat. I don't
know. Really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know if my sentences were too long, because what it is that you need to fit your bar within the beat.
Yeah.
Anything that comes outside of the beat, it doesn't
work. Yeah.
So it then just throws you off track. So that's what happened. I didn't get my sentence within the beat. And once you don't get your sentence within the beat, it just throws you right off.
Yeah.
And there's no coming back.
Yeah.
And when I was growing up, in those days, if you flopped on an instrumental beat, that's it. They're not allowing you to come back and redeem yourself.
Oh, really? Is that it? Like,
yeah, that was
one
it.
Shot, one go?
Yeah, that's it. You wasn't.
Wow, okay.
And especially because I was a girl as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm a girl, Kano's my cousin, and now I've got to prove myself. And it absolutely just flopped. And
was it additional pressure because I know you said, it's in my blood, so I should be able to do it. Was it like, your cousin's, like, I mean, Kano was and probably still is like the biggest grime artist of his generation, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So was it like a positive pressure, or was it like a negative thing?
I think it wasn't. Do you know what? To be honest, it wasn't pressure. It was just that, Kano's your cousin, so like,
you better be good. You're gonna be good.
There's no reason
by default,
for you to fail. Yeah, by default, you should be that, and that's how we thought. Our minds were limited back then, so you should be good. There's like, you've got all of this inspiration. You've got access to a grime artist. Like, we just see these things on Channel U or on the TV, but you've got access. So it wasn't really that they gave me pressure, but I think I pressured myself.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be good. So it just flopped, and I was like, all right, cool. What can I say? What can I do? And I remember I tried to make every excuse under the sun not to come back into school the next day, because it was just so embarrassing. Like,
Is it that bad, really?
It was.
How many people are in a huddle?
So
you could tell I went to like a very white school. I did not have huddles at our school.
If you've got 30 kids in a class, right, you've got more or less like the whole of year 10. So there was loads. There was loads. And what happens is people attracts people.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So when you see a huddle and you see...
It just attracts more to the huddle.
It just attracts more people.
Yeah.
And then it becomes more of, instead of a play about, muck about, it becomes more of a performance.
Yeah.
So now I'm performing. This isn't just a thing where it's between me and my friends. It's now everybody's come to watch what I've got to say, what I've got to do. Boom. So that's what it was. So there was more or less the playground, huddling to hear what people have got to say. And it's not to say, people knew it was me that was going to come and spit bars, so to speak. It was just that the attraction of what's going on, I want to see, I want to hear. So that's what it was. And to know that I flopped in front of so many people, so that crushed my dream. So I said, yeah, definitely not ever going to do anything on a beat again. And I remember I went home and I told my friend, and she laughed at me, and I was thinking, okay, you're meant to be my brethren and you're just laughing at me. That's not fair. But she sent me a link to the spoken word artist called P4CM, and basically it was just like a rap but a cappella. So I was like, why didn't I think of that? So then I just started to do things a cappella. But even then, when I was in school, I didn't really take it seriously because obviously my confidence kind of got shattered, self-esteem was a bit shattered, and I just thought performance, although I loved performing arts, that wasn't for me. Like, no. I took drama in school and all of that. I got an A star in drama, but it still wasn't for me. So from when I left school, when I was, say, 15, 16, up until 2017, I was more or less wasting my time wisely, I like to call it. So I was doing a little soul searching. I was doing things such as I went into journalism. I studied journalism, shorthand writing. I went into the NCTJ. What else did I do? I worked in retail for a bit. I was just trying to find what I would want to do because I didn't really say this is what I want to do when I'm older. It was just that I didn't know what to do. So I was going with the flow. I didn't go to uni. I went college. I went to 2 different colleges when I left school.
Didn't you go to a fancy drama college?
That was in 2017.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was soul seeking that I did for a very, very long time. I didn't take poetry. I didn't even know that I was good at poetry.
Well, and also you don't like it, so it's not like you're going to accidentally find out I'm quite good at this, because why would you... Well, you don't even really know that world is even there, because if you don't like the craft or the art of it.
Exactly. So I didn't even know that. So I knew about this P4CM. I knew that there was a poetry world. But do you know when you speak about spoken word and poetry, it's an American thing.
Yeah, of course it is, yeah.
Didn't have a clue that there was a
scene for
it in the UK. So I was just in and out of America for a while. Because I went and I done Camp America, came back. So I was just, and then obviously you find friends in America. So then I would go back and I lived there for a while, came back to the UK, and I was just in and out, just trying to find what I want to do. Then 2013, I met a lady called Tanya, and she kind of saw the gift, because I knew that I could do spoken word. So what it was that I would go and do spoken word. Maybe it wasn't even. I wouldn't say. I don't like to call it spoken word. But I had this one poem that I would do everywhere. So there was this thing called UK Unsigned.
I remember that.
So I went on to UK Unsigned, and I think I got to the semi-finals. But I got to the semi-finals with the same poem. So I was never ever going to win. And I didn't exercise the craft. It was just that I had this one poem. I was told my deliverance in my spoken word was good, and that was it. So I'd done UK Unsigned.
That was the biggest thing outside of X Factor, wasn't it, for talent spotting?
Especially in the UK.
That's right, yeah, I remember that. It was well ran. Did they used to do it at they would do regional heats, wouldn't they? Like Jongleurs nightclubs or something like that.
They were everywhere. So where did I go? So I was in Wandsworth. They held auditions and stuff in Wandsworth. Then from Wandsworth I had to go to Wembley.
That's right. Yeah, I did it as well when I was younger. Yeah.
So I went to UK Unsigned, and this Tanya saw the gift, and she was like, "Yeah, I really I really believe that you can be something.
How did you come up with the one poem though? How did you even have this piece of art to go and showcase?
So I didn't grow up in church, but I grew up in that setting of church.
Right.
So they were very creative in churches. They like to use people's talents. So when I remember I would write something, I wrote something, should I say, for a youth Sunday to just perform.
Right.
And that was the one poem that I had.
And when you say perform, so this is like a piece of poetry.
A piece of, yeah.
But did you know it as poetry then, or was it just like
do you know what?
Speech?
It wasn't poetry. It was more a rap, but it was a cappella.
Right. Okay.
So it wasn't kind of what I do now. It was more faster and so it wasn't. It was more of a rap, but it was just a cappella. So I did that, and I'd done that UK on site. I'd done that thing everywhere. It was like a one hit wonder.
Polar.
Yeah, I was literally a one-hit wonder for a very long time. To a point where I remember I done it somewhere, and I was like, "No, that's old. Like, haven't you got anything new?" So I did that, and with meeting Tanya, she's a creative arts director, and she was putting on a show at the Catford Theatre.
Catford Theatre's around the corner from my house.
So she wanted me and another girl to write her play, or narrate her play rather, in spoken word. So I was in my head, I'm thinking, you're giving me a whole play to write in spoken word. That doesn't make sense. So I was up for the challenge, and I done the play. It went to Fairfield Halls after Catford Theatre. The following year, it went to Birmingham, and then it went to South Africa.
Oh, wow.
It travelled. So, yeah, I was like, whoa. So that's when I really believed, wow, I can actually make something of this.
Were you narrating it live as well?
Live.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, live. It was a sold-out show, over 800 people.
I was about to say, Fairfield Halls is a big old gaff.
Yeah. So after that, 2017, because she worked in... she was a manager of a youth hub, and with youth hubs they get like brochures and leaflets from colleges saying like, we've got an open day, we've got this, we've got that. And she spotted the Guildhall School of Music and Drama, that what they were looking for. They were looking for spoken word artists, just creatives. And she said, oh, I've seen this course and I think you should go for it. I already decided in my mind I was never going to university. It wasn't for me. And then not just that, I looked at my age and I said, definitely not going to university, because by the time I come out, I'm going to be 28 years old. That's not happening. I want to be able to have my own house, to settle and all of that. It's not happening. Little did I know, I applied for the Guildhall School of Music and Drama, and they got back to me and said to me, yeah, we want you to come back. We want you in for an audition, 2 auditions. They want a group audition and an individual. So the group audition was just that, they see how we interact as a cohort, as a unit. And then my individual audition, I had to do a spoken word piece. So I done the spoken word piece that I wrote for the play. And I remember I went into the Guildhall, I went into this audition rather, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dinah Stab. She is an actress from, what is that show? Where they're all in Spain.
Oh, Benidorm.
That's it.
Yeah.
She's an actress from Benidorm. And I remember I'd done the poem and she was like, okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to pretend that there's nobody in the room. It's just me and you. I was like, okay, that's fine. And then I started to say the poem, and then I started crying. I literally started crying tears like a baby, and I just couldn't. It was like uncontrollable, like weeping. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not getting into the Guildhall. Like who cries at their audition? So she was like, yeah, it's okay. And then I left. I didn't think I would ever get in. About 2 weeks later, they sent me an email. Congratulations, you have been offered a place at the Guildhall, but it's on a conditional basis. And the conditional offer was that I write an assignment about identity and I present an artistic portfolio. Funnily enough, I was when I was walking with Tanya, we were talking about identity, and we had taken photos from the theatre and things. So I already had I didn't even know that I had an artistic portfolio, but I had that to present to them, that I've been to Catford, I narrated a play. So it's like everything just aligned itself. And then, went to the Guildhall. And even when I was in the Guildhall, I didn't know that it was an amazing, like one of the biggest drama conservatoires in the UK. Had no idea what it was, but I still didn't know what I was there for. So when I even told my mum that, I'm going to the Guildhall to do spoken word, she was like, yeah, but couldn't you do spoken word of an evening? Because I don't even think she believed that I could make something of this spoken word. I didn't. And then, so I went to the Guildhall. When I looked at my peers, and when you go to the Guildhall, like, you got people whose parents were in like orchestras and, you know, Brit School, and they were just so uppity people. And I'm just a little girl from East London. What am I doing here? So I saw how they were striving, how they really wanted to be artists. And that wasn't really my intention. I just came here because somebody said, Jess, I believe you've got a gift and you can be great. So when I looked at how my peers were striving to be great artists and how they were like exercising their craft, I said to myself, do you know what? I actually need to do something with what I'm doing. So we had a Christmas break, and I decided that when I come back in the new year, I'm going to have a stage name. I'm going to be on my shit. So I said that. And I came back in 2018, and I became Poetess Jess in 2018. And I started to go to open mic nights. I started to perform, and that performance went to becoming just a normal open micer, to then becoming a headliner, to then seeing, performing at award ceremonies, to then meeting Kanye King, to then being on the Mobos, and just taking me just everywhere. Like, I never ever thought I would be this Poetess Jess. I never thought that I would be doing all of these great things, becoming ambassadors in creative arts, going to corporate events and meeting CEOs. Like, I met the CEO of Beats Headphones with Accenture 2 years ago, and it was just like, whoa. Like I met Stephen Fry, and I was like, what? Like, I just met all of these great people, and not just that, it's that they want me back as well. So it's not that I go there and I perform, but when they're like, yeah, we want you back, when people are asking for me to do spoken word at their corporate events or just to be entertainment, I'm like, wow, me. And so I've noticed that my gift is not just for me, it's to share. It's bigger than what I am. It's bigger than who I am. And it's to inspire those that are upcoming, that are just like me, that didn't think they could make it. Because I didn't even know that you can make money from spoken word. Ask Elaine, I didn't know nothing. When she told me, no, we're upping your prices, when I met her from Clubhouse, coming into Breakfast with Winners, I followed this woman like flipping, like she was Jesus. I followed her in and out of rooms, and when
who's this, Elaine Powell?
No, Elaine Cunningham Walker.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, like.
Oh, she's normally in the mornings. Is she here?
She was here this morning.
I'm here.
She's here.
Yeah. So like when I got in contact with her, like I asked my prices, and what I put on my booking form, I thought, no. I said to her, no one's going to pay these prices, but lo and behold, people just are paying, and I'm like, wow, it's my price has gone up. It's ridiculous, but yeah, that's how I became Poetess Jess.
What was it about when Diana Stab said to you, just pretend it's me and you here? Why the second time she made you read out? What about that made you cry? What was it? Almost like what was it? Why?
I think beforehand I was never ever in connection. I never connected with poems. I was just a performer.
Yeah.
I was just a performer. I never ever connected. So to know that I connected with the poem, and if I thought to myself, if you can connect with a poem like this and you can make people feel like that, then Jess, you've got to be the first participator of your poems. You can't just say it, you've got to believe it first. So that's where my delivery comes from, because now I believe what I'm saying. It's not that I don't believe now, I believe what I'm saying. So now I believe it, I can make others believe.
And was it a bit of a case that before you were writing down, you know, beautifully eloquent, well-structured words, but now you speak a message that you think people need to hear?
Yeah. It's not about having the excellence of words or wordplay, but what do people need to hear in this time, in this moment? And just even through life experiences, or how would I put myself in people's positions if I was depressed, if I was hurting, if I was going through something, how would I feel? What would I like to be told if I was going through this? So I make myself the person. And when I've made myself the person, then I'm like, yeah, that's...
I'm always intrigued because I've heard you obviously on Clubhouse loads of times. I remember the first time I heard you, and someone brought you up to stage, and I've heard you on a couple of podcasts, and you were saying that you were not hugely confident before Clubhouse, and this has really been the platform that's blown up everything for you, as it rightfully should have done. But I remember hearing you a few times, like one of the early, this must be January, February time, and someone's having a little chat in the background. Can we mute ourselves, guys? Thanks very much. Someone's talking about what they're doing this morning. Lovely. Who is that? If someone could work that out, yeah, sorted. Yeah, and I remember hearing you, and I was just like, oh my God, like that's what this platform's for. Like those sorts of moments. I think I might have had like COVID fever brain, and I was like, she's like an angel or something. I don't know how she does it. But how do you practice getting good at spoken word when you cuff it? You know, it comes to you make it up as you go along in a lot of instances. Now, don't get me wrong, you might have ways that you sort of structure sentences, or you might have standard phrases, I guess, or sentences that you know will work together. But how do you actually practice getting good when it is just off the cuff? Do you like read a dictionary so you know more words, or how do you do it? I'm so intrigued.
It's the art of rhyming, and having a mental blueprint in your mind. So if you are good at rhyming, and I think that's something that I've always been good at, you just kind of get the next words. So it's always your end words, like rhyming couplets. It's always your end sentence that has to rhyme. So I know that.
But is there like a certain sort of like words that end with ERs will always be easier, or?
No, I can't explain it, because even when I do spoken word, I don't normally write it down. I just store it in my head, and I memorize it in my head.
But you've already written it. So do you ever write it?
I do write, but I write it in my head. So I'm learning to write it on paper and have an actual physical document of what I write. But normally, beforehand, it was everything. I wrote it in my head.
So you know it in advance, but you're not committing it to paper?
I've not committed it to paper.
Wow, okay. So now you're committing it to paper, are you finding that you're getting... Is it like a different art form?
It's hard.
Is it really?
It's so
more hard than writing it in your head?
Yeah, because I've got to think. So even when I write back to front. So I write from the bottom, and then I work my way up. That's how I get my poetry. It's just...
what?
I don't recommend anybody...
This is not a poetry lesson.
It's not a poetry lesson. But normally people have a starting point. But
you have an end point?
I have an end point. This is what I want to say to you at the end.
Okay.
And then I work my way up.
How do you get to that point?
Yeah.
So do you actually write it in reverse, or do you go, right, I want to take you to there, which is, finding your passion and fulfillment, and we're going to start somewhere dark, and I'm going to take you on that journey? Or do you literally write it from the bottom up?
I write it from the bottom up.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder it's difficult. You write it back to front.
Yeah, I know. That's just me. I read books back to front. I don't like reading the beginning of the book. Yeah.
Really?
I hate, I want to know. I want to know the ending. It's like I always say, I hate process. I don't like going through things.
Oh, you've made an enemy here, Jess, of all the things to say in front of the captain.
I wouldn't start because I've got your voice message.
Oh, God, okay. I'm so intrigued by
Have you been
this.
listening this morning to this before you come into here?
No.
Oh, this is brilliant.
Okay, we're going to do some... Yeah, okay, we'll come to that in a minute. So, we've just got to finish working that out. So you literally write it... So do you start with an end word? And then...
I start with sentences.
Okay.
So I have a sentence that I would take mental note of, And once I have the sentence, I say to myself, okay, what would go here? So I can't explain it. Normally, sometimes I have to have conversations with myself to get...
And do you silent, or do you actually talk to yourself?
Silent
Right,
conversations. Okay. And I would think about, put myself in the situation, but it's normally, I know exactly this is what I want to finish with. But then going to the Guildhall and having one of the most amazing spoken word poetry teachers, Jacob Samler Rose, he taught me just think of your poem as a story. Let it have a beginning, middle, and end. And that has been easier, but because I'm so used to one-liners and writing back to front, it's a bit hard because I feel like I'm overthinking. And once I overthink, I get the mental block, then I get frustrated, and I'm like, yeah, forget it, I'm not writing.
Well, how do you find inspiration for what you're going to write? Does it sort of just come to... Because with creative, I'm always intrigued, because I don't think of myself as being a creative person. And all the coaches be like, well, yeah, that's an identity statement. Shut up, I get it. But I don't... But do you sit down to write something? Or,
No.
or does it have to come to you? So do you go, right, do you know what? I've got this gig with Accenture in 4 weeks' time. Right, come on, Jess. Thursday, I've put it in the diary. Friday at 4, I'm going to sit and be creative and write.
No, I don't do that. Normally, it depends. A lot of people say, oh, I want you to come in and write about this, like write about our company.
Oh, so they actually give you something to write about?
Yeah, so when I was doing Accenture and the marketing society, they gave us a theme.
Right.
So yeah, I wrote themed base, but even that's hard because you're limited with the creativity.
Yeah, yeah.
But normally I could be on a train, I could look at like Breakfast with Winners, and then I could be like break fast. Like I just play with the word for a while. I just sit and play with words.
Okay.
And then when I sit and play with words, I'm like, oh, something will just come to me.
So going to Guildhall, and you said you had an amazing spoken word poetry teacher. Do they teach you how to do that playing with words?
No, they don't. They more teach you about the structure, the easiest way to write a poem. So like 5 senses. If you had a colour, what would it look like? What would it taste like? That's how they... Like,
oh, really? Yeah. Oh, this is great.
What would it taste like? What would it feel like? Stuff like that. They give you little nuggets, but it's more about your structure, how you can change it, and your use of language. But wordplay was something that I think you kind of, by looking at other artists, or when you hear other artists, what they say, you're like, how did you think of that? And then you learn it by yourself, because you want to now master wordplay.
Right.
So with wordplay, it's just word association. And
you have to find your own way of cognitively finding that association. You can't learn someone else's tactics because it's how their brain's wired.
It's how their brain's wired. So yeah, it's literally your own, down to your own devices.
So you said that you're a poet who doesn't like poetry. Are you still a poet that doesn't like poetry?
I still am. I just
I just hate it.
Not that I hate it, but it's just... I feel like with English poets, and sorry if you're a spoken word poet and you're in here, we try to be too much like Americans.
Right.
We don't have our own style, our own sound. So it's this breathing and the not making sense of anything. Oh, like the bird flew in the air and it was high to the sky, and I'm just like, do you know poems that don't make no sense? Or they're poetry and they've got like the dramatic pauses, and I'm just...
Can't get bored of it.
I can't do it.
Is it because you feel that sort of poetry is just being clever with words? It's not connecting, like the bird who flies high in the sky. Like you can't relate to the bird flying high in the sky.
I can't relate to open the door, close the door. I'm so confused. I can't relate. I can't relate to it. Like there's just... Don't get me wrong. I've heard some phenomenal poets actually. There've been times where I've gone to open mics and I'm like, okay, I don't like your cadence, but I actually do like what you're saying. And then there have been some times where I find poets that are able to do spoken word how I do spoken word. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't think I can sit in it all day, every day. There's people that are just made for that. They can go and sometimes I can do open mic, or if I headline a show, I can headline and then leave. And it's not to be rude, it's just that I mentally can't take it.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So, who do you look to for inspiration? Is there anyone? Is there no one in that space? Do you still look for external? Is it still like the grime scene or music?
Definitely the grime scene.
Right. Here's a thing. You talked about that you couldn't do it to beat, and that the bar, obviously a bar is sort of eight sort of counts of a beat, and anything over that, then it's going to trip you up for the next sentence. I know it's not strictly grime, but what are your thoughts on Bugsy Malone?
I don't like the accent, but
I think he's a poet. Is he a poet? I think that's poetry.
He is absolutely amazing. You know what? I think since his car accident, he had a crash.
That's right. Yeah.
So he's changed. He's become a
Massively.
bit more humble and more grateful. There's more of he's just so calm in spirit. But beforehand, Bugsy Malone was a bit, I don't really want to play, he thought he was all that and a bag of chips. And I was thinking, you're not the greatest, but you're good. But of recent, since his accident, and I've heard him and how he's changed and his use of words, it's like, oh, wow.
It's not normally musically. That's not my cup of tea at all. And someone played it to me. I was like, "This guy is so clever."
Yeah,
and how he plays with words. And like I say, there's you can listen to the like the early EPs and then the early albums, and it's very much about like where he's come from and what he's got out of, and he's come from like a real bad neighbourhood, and his uncle's like a real like a face in that scene. And like I say, since the crash, the Resurrection 2 album, I think it's called, he's on tour now, and he's still got that swagger that you have to have as a grime artist, and sort of like tearing up the scene. But he's just the way that it's lyrical poetry. It's so clever. It's so clever.
Yeah, he's come a long way, and I give him his flowers. I really give him his flowers because he has that accident changed him. It just changed his flow, his use of words. So I do rate him, but again, the accent is a bit. Oh gosh,
can't take the accent. See, I quite like it because he used to either American or London. I think actually having a northern accent, and the fact he calls himself the King of the North, I'm like, it's quite clever. I like it. Right, we have gone past the 8 o'clock hour. We have a little musical reset, then we're going to come back and give some people. Well, there's 2 things we're going to do after. We would like to get your opinion on. I know you don't like poetry, but it turns out that I'm actually quite a talent. I didn't realise. So last night we did. I was sending some voice notes to Captain Miserable, and it turns out that I've got a bit of a flow, so we'd like you to rate how good my poetry 100%. Is, and then we're going to chuck it out to the audience to ask some questions of Poetess Jess. We'll be back after this.
You are listening to exclusive content direct from the Winners Club. If you are enjoying the conversation, click on the green Monopoly house at the top of the screen right now and join the thousands of winners already in our community. For even more actionable content and powerful lessons, download the free companion app now. Just search for the Winners Club in the App Store or Google Play. For more information about the Winners Club and how to become part of our growing community, head to thewinnersclub.club. Now, back to the show.
Right,
it's a miserable smirking.
I'm going to set the scene here.
Okay.
So last night, Jess, this is what happened. So usually on a Thursday, we come here for the live show on a Friday. So we sort of, about 9 o'clock at night, one of us, we usually touch in with the others in our WhatsApp group. What's going on tomorrow? What's the plan? What we doing? Blah, blah, blah. Bit of a unofficial production meeting, so to speak. So obviously we was aware you was coming on, so we was discussing the fact that you was going to come on and what we was going to do, how the morning was going to work, what time you was arriving, all that sort of stuff. So James, in his infinite wisdom, decides to reply back to the voice messages.
Text messages.
They were text messages, written text messages that we were typing, and he decides to reply.
Wasn't creative
back
enough, Jess. Wasn't creative
in voice notes. Get ready for this.
I know you don't normally like poetry, but I think this is about to change.
Hold on. I was actually impressed you come up with these so quickly.
Okay.
So actually, let me set the scene first of all. It turns out Ashley was still in the office. So we basically said, and this was 9 o'clock, about, what time was it? Yeah, 8:45 at night. So I said to him, why are you in the office? Is your system broken? Because he's been implementing some new systems in his business to mean he could spend more time at home. But actually, he was still at the office at 9 o'clock at night. So I joked and said, why are you still in the office? Is the system broken, or have you had an argument with your wife? Which one is it? And then James replies this. Here we go.
Paul, she's often in the room.
Hold on. No, right, this one.
Ash, get back to your yard. Man shouldn't be working so hard. You got to get an early night, or else tomorrow you'll be shy, and that'll be a shame. Yeah.
slam poetry.
Not my best one. Slam poetry. I like to end it with slam poetry every time. Decent though, isn't it? As a warm up, like off the cuff, that is.
It's as
wordplay. Off the cuff.
Wordplay, I love it. No, it's not really wordplay. It's rhyming.
Okay, we're rhyming.
We got another one. We've got another one.
Ashley, please don't tell me the system is broken. Don't stay at the office because you think it's a token of your respect for others by working hard. You should really just chip off back to the yard, turn off the light and slam down that laptop. Otherwise, in the morning, you'll be slapped up. You need to be driving to Ilford real safe because otherwise you might not get there with your local Dave. Slam poetry.
So I know you don't like poetry ordinarily, but is it helping or hindering?
A for effort.
A for effort, thank you very much. I'll take that. Is there any more? I think that was it, wasn't it? Solid. So that's my poetry.
Or was that off the cuff?
That was just off the cuff,
That was in response to messages that were just written messages, and immediately he's come back off the cuff, yeah.
Immediately? Do you know what? I'll give you your flowers.
Yes!
Give you your flowers.
Yes, Jess says
so good. The first one came back in, where are we? 9:45, yeah, within 1 minute. So it's 8:45 I sent a text message, and then at 8:46 he replied back with that.
Yeah.
So he had 1 minute to prepare.
Yeah. That's
just did it one take wonder.
That's art.
One take wonder. That is art. I thought so. Right, we are going to throw out the opportunity because I know that often in the room, as you'd expect, you come into a room and people are like, "Jess, do a poem for us. Jess, do this for us." But I'd love to get the opportunity this morning to ask you any questions that they've had about you or your art or your craft or what you're up to in the world or what the next steps are, what you're doing with the brand of Poetess Jess. If anyone's ever listened to Jess in a room and her unbelievable talent, hopefully we'll get you to do something. We couldn't really not do that, could we? But if you've ever heard Jess be like, "I'd love to find out more about the woman behind the talent," then today is your opportunity. So mods and speakers, if you're on stage, feel free to flash your mic and we will put some questions to Poetess Jess. Well, we won't put them. You can put them directly to Poetess Jess yourself. Let's go. I knew she'd be flashing. Do you know, I'll tell you what, I've got to be honest, a lot of my pre-production research was done listening to Lucienne Shakir's podcast. That's what she said. It was very good. It was very good. Lucienne, are you there?
I am. Good morning, everyone. Hello, Jess.
Hi.
Legend. Hi. She made me cry on my podcast. It's the first time I cried, and it was very emotional. It was deep, wasn't it, Jess? Very deep. Right, my question. You mentioned working with Elaine and how that inspired or moved you forward step by step as having a mentor. I just want to know from you, what was the difference for you having somebody who was championing you? What did it give you that you didn't have before?
Ooh, that's a good question, Lucienne. I think, so for me, before I was coming into Breakfast with Winners, there wasn't a confidence that I had to do my spoken word on stages, especially in front of great people like yourself. So following her in and out of rooms, not just that, it gave me, there was no confidence. I was very shy, and the business aspect. So although I went to the Guildhall and I'd done an enterprise, I didn't really take the enterprise lesson. So when I met Auntie Elaine, it was more that there was more structure to what I was doing. There was more of a system. So she loves to speak about. So we put systems in places, in spaces and places. It was no more, they can't just get a hold of you like this. They've got to do this. There was more system, process and structure in my life and what I was doing. And not just that, the price went up. And how she told me about figures and numbers and what to charge and how to charge, was ridiculous. There was an email that she set up and was like, yep, let everybody email you like this, through this. So she put structure, should I say, into my life. Structure and more confidence.
Love it. Do you think, just one little follow-on question, James, if I'm allowed, do you value your poetry more now than you did before? Is there a difference in value for you?
100%. 100%. I now, I don't really go to open mics as before, because there's just a value that I believe that she has shown me that I have, and not just her, also her family. She's welcomed me into her family, guys. So her auntie's my auntie. But know that her family have shown me as well. So I don't really do open mics, and there is a certain brand and type of people that what's the word? That I go towards now. So I'm not open to everybody. Not everybody has access to me. I'm not quick to perform here, there, and everywhere. It's more, okay, who are these people? We focus on who are these people, what can they offer you, and where can it take you?
I love that. Thanks, Jess. Lovely to hear you this morning.
Oh, bless you.
Awesome stuff. And I've got to say, shout out to Lucienne. When she, in your podcast, there's a moment where Jess was almost edging towards calling herself out that she was going to be the best at something. Then she stopped herself the first time around, and I heard it. I was like, oh, she stopped herself there. And then Lucienne picked up on it, and she went back to it about 15 minutes later, and she went, you were going to say something, you didn't finish that sentence because you distracted yourself. Would you like to go back to that sentence? And you still didn't want to, and she kept pressing the issue. I was like, I get where she's going with this. So yeah, great podcast hosting, Lucienne. Go and check out that podcast if you get the opportunity. Check out That's What She Said.
Thanks,
on
James.
Apple, Spotify, and all good podcast production platforms. And that's not one that's not a punt for our agency. We don't do that one. So we're not trying to pitch it. It's not like a Black Friday thing. Go and check out Lucienne's podcast and use our agency. Nah, that's not what we're saying. Right. Is there anybody else? Do you think that you could, because you said something really interesting actually on that podcast. You said that you think that you could be, or you know that you'll be the next Maya Angelou.
I am the next Maya Angelou.
There you go. There we go.
I definitely, I wake up and I affirm myself. I'm the best spoken word artist in the world. And the more I affirm myself, the more I believe it. The more things just start to manifest, as Susan likes to speak about. Things just start to manifest. Things start to happen. People call me here, there. I want you to come here. I want you to come there. It's just crazy. Every time I open my mouth and I say, this is what I am. I'm more than enough. I am the next spoken word. I am going to be the greatest. My name's in rooms that I've not even heard of. My name's in the mouth of people that are in high places. I say those things every day. And every day that I say it, I will look at my emails. I've got an email to do this. I look at my my WhatsApp, or I look at my Instagram page. Jess, I need you to do this, and we're paying you this much. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Absolutely brilliant. Do you think that now you've put I know that Lucienne talked there about the value of your art has gone up. Do you enjoy it more now that you can see the value in it? And not that it's just like a monetary thing, but now you can see that, like the likes of an Essentia or the Marketing Society will go, we love what you do. There is an intrinsic value to this. Here is X amount of hundreds or thousands of pounds to do your craft. Therefore, there is a tangible value. Do you enjoy it more now? You can the perceived value is actually tangible for you now.
Yes. But even if money wasn't an option, I'd still be doing it because I understand what I carry. So I'm not doing it for money. I'm not doing it because I like to talk at people or I like to put words together, convey words and speak them. But there is a passion, there is a heart to do it. I know that there's broken people. I know that there's people out there that just need uplifting. They need inspiration. They need to hear something. I might be somebody's next sign that they've been hoping for, wishing, that they've been trying to manifest. Do you understand? So even if money wasn't involved, I understand the value, but I still know that I would only, there's certain places, because I've understood that not everybody likes my gift. Not everybody is about spoken word poetry. Not everybody likes it. But that doesn't stop me because you don't like it. I'll still speak to you if you was the only person in the room. I'd still perform in front of you. If you was the only one on the earth, I'd still perform because of the passion and the heart that I have towards spoken word.
Does your mum get it now?
Oh my goodness. My mum, she loves to tell people, Poetess Jess is my daughter.
Oh really?
When people, yeah. I think, because my parents are funeral directors, and somebody had said, she was doing a funeral and someone said, yeah, Poetess Jess is my daughter. And they were like, what? Poetess Jess is your daughter? Like, it's like I'm some celebrity. Even if I go to because I've moved out of this area, when I come back, just to see young people, I can be in Westfield and people stop me, take photos. Oh my gosh, you're Poetess Jess, or I know her. It's really mind-blowing, because I just didn't know that. One, I didn't know people were really interested into spoken word poetry like that. But just to know where I came from and where I am now, and at one point I was going to quit spoken word. It's rewarding. It hasn't been easy, but it's been worth it.
Are you introverted rather than an extrovert? Because it's a really strange combination, because you said you're someone who obviously you appreciate now and value your gift, but you don't want to talk at people. And you strike me as someone who really gets the admiration of people, but doesn't probably like the attention that comes with.
Yeah. I don't know how to handle attention. I don't know how to...
So what's it like when someone comes up to you in Westfield and is like, oh, you're a Poetess Jess?
Yeah, it's a bit cringing.
Yeah, okay.
Last night I even done, I went out to Croydon, and that was it was so cringing that they got me up. Luckily, because it was a really, really, really good friend of mine, but they got me up and I done spoken word. But performance-wise, I'm like, yeah, let me do this, show up and show out. But off stage, it's like, yeah, don't just call me Jess, call me Jessica. Like, it's all right. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got others that, I went to St. Mark's Academy, a school, and I had young people who were like, oh, I want to talk to her, but I don't know. It was like that. And I was like, guys, I'm normal. I'm just like you. I'm human. I talk, I eat, just like you do. So it's amazing to see. But no, I would say
Are you getting used to it?
No, because it's not. Because I'm not in it for like the fame and the fortune. I just do it because I love to do it. But I guess when you are great at your craft, it happens. It really does. It really does happen. So I would say I'm a bit of both. Although I don't really like to believe in the extrovert and introvert. I just think it's down to the character and the person. Some days you want to while out. Some days you just want to be isolated. But I would say I'm a bit of both, because I can be in a party and I can be the hype girl. Like, yeah, I can hype you, egg you on. But then at the same time, I can be the one to just sit in the corner, be on my phone and not say nothing to anybody.
Do you find it all, if you went to like a random event, say, and there just happens to be like a microphone, if someone goes, oh, do something for us, get up and perform, is that difficult? Do you have to get into the mindset of being Poetess Jess, or can you just literally do it? Okay.
I can do it. Hand me because my whole thing is that part of what I do is that I like to encourage other people. So it doesn't even have to be spoken word. I can just get up and just speak.
Yeah.
As long as I'm encouraging somebody,
that's job done.
It's job done.
Okay. Interesting. Right, I want to check it back out to the audience, because I'm aware that I've been sort of greedily asking you questions.
Can I ask one question?
No. You got to flash your mic, please. Go on.
Were you one of the Clubhouse creators? The creator program?
No, I wasn't on it. So I didn't, because at the time it was like you needed a recording of your room, and I had just been Beju'd. So I wasn't, I was still getting into the flow of moderating a room. So I wasn't, but the Clubhouse founders contacted me to do a spoken word in their first ever UK town hall.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I had the privilege of sitting on the same stage as them and presenting my spoken word, and they were just like, whoa.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that, and I do talk with, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Abraxas.
Yep.
Yeah. So I do talk with him, and we've got some things in the pipeline, but yeah, they actually came to me and was like, oh, we heard that you're an amazing poet. If you could come and just share your talent at the... And I was like, me? I read the email about 5 times. I was thinking, me to come and perform at the UK town hall. And I don't even go into the town halls.
Well, they done a UK town hall at midnight, didn't they? Which was ridiculous. It was like 11 till 12 or something silly. Yeah.
So I kind of had to stay up. And I remember one of the girls was messaging me. She was like, yeah, you're going to be on next. You're going to be on next. And I was like next forever. But, you know, yeah, I came, I done my thing, and yeah, since then we've been in talks. I don't think I've ever been in another UK town hall, if there's ever been one.
I think they only done the one, yeah.
It was just the one, yeah. So I've not done it since then, but we've been in talks, and I've been in talks with Abraxas and things like that. So yeah.
Is it more difficult to do it behind the wall of a phone, where you can't read reactions? Do you need an audience in front of you? Because for certain artistries, like dancing, singing, comedy, you need that interaction, or you get more out of that interaction with an audience. Do you need that?
I would say in the beginning, I've needed just the human connection to just I needed to feel people's vibe. I just wanted to feel people's energy, so to speak. But since we've been in this pandemic, and it's been quite a while, you kind of get used to just performing on the phone, and so you kind of read by the taps that you get.
Right, yeah.
The woos, the woes, the messages. Before I came on Clubhouse, I was like on 1,000 something followers. After Clubhouse, I'm now on like 3,600. Do you know what I mean? So you kind of see the growth, the gain, and if people like you, just by the reaction, the comments, not even just the comments, but sometimes I go into my request DMs that I don't read often because it's overwhelming, and it's just like, you spoke to me. So just hearing those things now is more like, yeah, if I can speak to you, if I done a spoken word and I spoke to you, that's what I want to know.
That's wicked.
Yeah, if it touched you, that's it.
Right, Iffy has got a question. Sorry, I keep saying to people you can ask a question, and I just keep asking more questions. So Iffy, come on, we'll go to you. What's your question for Poetess Jess? Or just Jessica? She's just Jessica to us.
Oh gosh! Oh, thanks, James. Oh, Poetess Jess, I have a question. When you, every time you speak, you can feel the vibration in your voice. Like it's just incredible. And I've heard you around the app, and I'm just like, wow. You said that you're going to be the UK or the next Maya Angelou, which is absolutely exciting because there hasn't been anyone. So my question to you is, when you're preparing, I actually have two questions kind of in one if I'm going to be cheeky. When you're preparing to do something and get up on stage, what do you channel? Who do you think about? And that kind of leads into another question that you can kind of ask. If you were able to sit at a round table with 5 people throughout history whose words have changed you, who would you put around your table? I just want to kind of feel who are the people that are connecting you, because when you speak this, you mentioned Maya Angelou. I was like, well, who else is there on her list of people? So that's my question. So it's kind of 2 in 1. How do you prepare? Who do you channel into? And who would you have in your table of people throughout history? I'm done speaking.
Amazing. So who do I channel? I don't really channel anyone. I channel God. I think before I do a performance, especially if it's a major one, I do the prayer, and I'm just like, yeah, God, you got to show up and show out. So I channel. I just pray. I go over my lines. I'm always going over my lines every day. I'm going over lines, even if I'm not performing. I'm just going over lines just to be on the safe side, just to be prepared in and out of season in case I go into a room and somebody's like, yeah, we want a spoken word. So, if I was at a round table, that's an amazing question. So I'm, again, an artist that doesn't really like spoken word poetry. So I like grime. So I would have grime generals. I would have Maya Angelou. But funny enough, Maya Angelou isn't really my inspiration. She's just known for her work and her words. I wouldn't say I'm a great fan of Maya, God rest her soul. But she has got some spoken word pieces that I'm like, yeah, I love. But I wouldn't say I would have her at a table. I think I would have grime artist. And the reason why I'd say, and the grime artist I would mention would be, and I've been around the table with these grime artists before, would be like, again, my cousin Kano. It would be Gets. It would be Gigs. It would be Wretch 3-2. And who else? I think my mum, because I got my speaking from my mum. So it would be those 5 people. The grime artists is because that's what I grew up on, And their words, their wordplay, their content really kind of birthed Poetess Jess. And I say my mum is because if you met my mum, I'm like my mother. And me and my mum, we clash a lot because we're so similar, we're so alike. So it would be those 5 people.
Good choices. I like that. Very good. Right, that'd be an interesting dinner party, wouldn't it? Just a load of grime artists and your mum.
But do you know? So I don't know if you've seen. Kano had a video shoot at my house, and they were all. It was a round table.
Oh, really? So this has actually already happened.
It's already happened. Yeah. But coming to think of it, I would actually have them again.
Yeah.
I would love to sit down and understand, because the level of their literacy and how they use their words, I still don't think I'm on that level. Although people say to me, do you know what, you're amazing, you're this and you're that. But when I hear them, I'm like, you guys are on a league of your own. Like, we call them the GOAT, greatest of all time. When I hear them and their creativity and how they can pull off certain things, it's like, if I had done it, it wouldn't succeed. Where I would love to just explore their mindsets.
Is there a benefit of being around those creative people? It's really interesting that people you'd have around that table are all of that sort of like same ilk. Do you think, like, I know again you're a poet who doesn't like poetry, but is there like some sort of like a poetry or creativity mastermind? Do you think that sort of thing would have value, or because it's very personal what you do, can you absorb the creative energy of other people, or is it quite insular what you do?
Do you know what? I absorb the grime side of. So if you hear me, if you've heard other spoken word artists, you can hear that I don't do it how they do spoken word. It's because there's a little bit of grime that I have in me. So there's a little bit of grime, there's a little bit of poetry in what I do. But I think, it is a personal thing to me. But understanding how because even when I started doing wordplay, I had to speak to somebody that was good at it. That I know a guy called Big Scoop, and if you heard it, it's just pun after pun after pun after pun. And when I spoke to him, and I explored, how did you like, and when I listened to him, it made me think, wow. So then I went back and I tried it for myself. So it's just sitting down, speaking, exploring, and taking notes. And it's just the little things that I just want to know. I'm not telling, I don't want to know how you became a celebrity, how you got, no. I just want to know the little things, the intricate things that worked for you. And try it. I'm all about trial and error. Try it. If it fails, try it another way. Try it a different way. That's something that I sort of do. So even when I do spoken word, I listen to grime artists. I don't listen to spoken word artists. I listen to grime. I hear what they have to say, and I'm like, okay, how can I make it my way now? So I do absorb, but I still make it my own.
And do you actually? So if you were going to, because you said that you always write it in your head first. Mm-hmm. So if you wanted to get some inspiration, like I feel like I'm feeling like a creative vibe today, I want to do something. Do you literally like stick your headphones on, go for a walk, and listen to some good artists, or are you sitting? Do you sit down so you can concentrate? How do you?
I just think of a line, or the line will just come to me. That's how. It's not that I feel creative. If a line comes to me, that's it. There's no stopping me. I'm gonna write.
And how does a line come? Literally just like pops up in your head?
It pops. I'd have to be listening to something, watching something. It could be in conversation, and you could say something, and I'm like, boom, okay, yeah. I mentally marked that line, and now I'm just gonna go based on that line that you said. And then I will use that line in the poem.
Interesting. I find it so interesting. As a non-creative person, I find creative people are really interesting. Really interesting.
We're weird, isn't it?
Right. You are a bit weird. You creative lot are a bit weird. Right. Susan's been messaging in the back channel. She'd love to ask you a question. Susan, intergalactical queen of the mother flipping universe. Over to you.
Oh, morning, guys. Honestly, Jess, I feel like you may have just asked my question, James. I was going to say that, really, like, what do you think of, like, how you channeling it? But honestly, I just want to say, like, you're so humble, Jess. I don't even know if you realise, like, how inspiring you are. And hearing you this morning, it's like, one, I'm so glad you connected with Elaine, because there's people that come into the world and they have like this gift, and you know, and we all know it, and like people will hear them and be like, wow, but then they don't have like the good enough people around them to like make them successful. So like not everyone gets to hear it. And then you've got people like, you know, like you're saying, and it's like, oh, as soon as you hit and you start surrounding yourself with them people like Elaine, like the good intentions, they're going to take you to places, and so many more people are going to get to hear your gift. And I love it, Jess, so much, what you say. And you're like, you know, I don't do it like others. Like I have that grind. And that is the reason why you get through to so many kids. Like my girls dance in East London, and these kids, for example, they're not listening to freaking, you know, the people that do spoken word poetry. They're not listening to mental health and mind. Going to listen to people like you. So I just want to say, like, I haven't a question anymore. I just want to say the comments that people say to you, like where
right, but I'm unable to click the.
Oh, someone's on stage. I was just reading, Jess, one on your Instagram. So like I urge people as well to download your single and have a little look, because that message that you got from like that girl where they're like listening to you, like you're changing their life. So like when I was going to ask you, what are you channeling when you're thinking of your lines, I feel like you're actually talking to somebody. Like I don't even know if you realize that that's that gift, but when you speak, it's like you're talking to me. Like, and not many people carry that. Not many people have that gift. So I was going to say, I love you, Jess. You know I do, and keep doing what you're doing, but more.
Thank you, Susan. I love you too. And thank you for always having me on your stage and boosting my confidence. The Luciernes, the Elaines, the Beijus, Scarlett. You guys have been, amazing. Honestly, like you guys have promoted my growth on the app and off the app.
Awesome stuff. Thank you very much, Susan. I mean, there was no question in there, was there? I looked for it, but there was no question. It was just 3 minutes of Susan hype up. But we all need a bit of Susan hype up.
You asked it, James, about channeling energy. Like you asked it. So like
you must. I'll tell you what happened there. You manifested the question via me. Like that's how strong the vibe was. That's how connected. I think you and I are so on the vibe that the vibe.
I've entered your soul.
You've entered my soul, and that's frankly quite a scary place to be. I'm going to go and have a cold shower, I think, and just think about how I feel about that. I'm a little bit uncomfortable. Right, we've had loads of people messaging in the back channel who would love to ask Jess a question. We're probably not going to get time to do all of them, but if you have got a question, either pop Paul a DM or Ash or me at the top, one of the top three of us, and we'll make sure we get the question across to Jess if we have time. Kimberly King has got a question. Kimberly, over to you.
Good morning, James and everyone. Hello, Poetess Jess. It's so wonderful to hear the interview this morning. I don't know if you recall, but we exchanged notes and chats early in your Clubhouse journey, and just as Elaine was stepping into the story. So it is especially gratifying to hear it in these months. And I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud on this stage, but I admitted something to you, and that is that elements of what you do come through me. And I've shied away from it for years. And you both inspired and encouraged me and also intimidated me at the same time. And so I've really appreciated hearing your process. And a couple of things I'll share just because this was an opportunity. I had the honor and privilege to know Maya Angelou. And I got to go to her home in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, before she passed. So for me, she is a true inspiration. And even though it is not her style you speak to, what she represents as a voice in the world is a high, high bar and honor. And I would like to tell you that when you said that, it resonated with me, and in a deep way. And it's a responsibility, that mantle as well. But I believe you can hold it. So I wanted to say that to you, and that you do. And I also want to thank you for the generosity of unpacking your process. Ironically, Mine is the same. It all comes in my mind, and when I try to write, it stops because it's not, now it's my brain, not my flow. So I want to see if there's anything else that you can share in your encouragements of how you cultivate your own flow. Because for me, it comes from inspiration. And I also work from the bottom up. I've never heard anyone else say it, but it certainly does encourage me today. So maybe it's more of an edification I want to give you, and to thank you and to thank the Winners Club for making this space for all kinds of conversations that we can learn about ourselves and celebrate each other. And I celebrate you, Poetess Jeff. You are a special, special voice in the world and a special person.
Wow. Oh, wow. I don't know what to say. Kimberly, I am absolutely, I'm humbled right now. I've got the biggest smile on my face. Wow. Wow. That hit me different. That is absolutely phenomenal. I thank you. I appreciate you. Those words of wisdom. That hit me different. I don't know.
That was a bit of an edification, that was, wasn't it? From someone who actually knew the great Maya Angelou herself, and says that you've got that same sort of gift and an important voice to put out into the world. That's pretty special. I got excited for you. I'm like, I'm just sat across the table from you. That's, mega. Thank you, Kimberly, for coming and sharing that. Really appreciate it. I don't know if you can take any more, but we've got more questions. Sorry. Marvin's got a question. Go on, Marv, if you're there. Hashtag Team Handsome.
Cheers, James. No, look, I'll keep it super quick because I know there's lots of people who want to ask a question. Look, I'm a huge admirer of Jess and her work, and I love the fact that she's connected with Elaine to sort of take her to another level. I think it's massively important, and many people have the sort of I suppose bravery to sort of say, right, I want to do more. I want to move from being good to great and make that decision. So I really love that. The question I've got for you is, and I was in that room, the Clubhouse room, where you did an amazing. I don't know if you've still got it or if it was off the top of your head, but you literally wove through so many clubs on the platform and incorporated it into your performance. So I don't know if you could do that again. That was amazing. But my question is, you spoke about a time when you really thought about just throwing in the towel. A time when I assume it was a low point for you. And you really thought of, maybe this isn't for me. I'd love to hear from you. How did you actually overcome that? Because I think not just for artists, for entrepreneurs, many of us sort of go through those times. How did you actually sort of get back on your feet, so to speak? That's my question. I'm done speaking. Hope it helps.
Hi, Marvin. Bless you and thank you. And we need to talk. We've been meaning to talk for a while, but we'll definitely speak. Great question. So, yes, I spoke about a time where I was going to throw in the towel, and it was because I was doing this spoken word thing and I was comparing myself to other people. I was comparing my beginning to somebody else's middle. I saw that people that I even started off with, or, when I started doing open mics, people that were in the same boat as me, they were just doing spoken word, and I was looking at how they were just excelling, and I was just still in the same boat. I felt so stagnant for a while. And I remember in 2019 in August, I done a open mic at the W Hotel, and Kojo the comedian was there, and he was like, yep, I want you at the Black Magic Awards. And so I was obviously gassed. I was head over heels, like, oh my gosh, Kojo wants me. So I was on a roll at that time. And then months went by. So the show was in October, and months went by, and I could just see that there was a decrease in what I was doing. I wasn't putting out content. I didn't know what to write about. I saw that people had like thousands of followers, and I think I was just on like 700 and something followers. My work wasn't being pushed. I was just getting really, really distressed. I hated it. I was just like, maybe spoken word isn't for me. Maybe I'm good at it, but it's not something that I can actually pursue as a career. And I remember I was at the Black Magic Awards, and I was in the changing rooms, and I said to the two other poets, Terrell, the poet, and Mr. Reed, and I said to them, do you know what, guys? This is actually my last performance. This spoken word thing, it's hard for me. I thought I would, get more recognition. I thought that people would push my work. I thought I would have more of a support system, because it can get a bit competitive in the scene, and I don't know if that's within the music scene as well, but it can get competitive. So it's about how it was not that it was about likes, but it was that I wasn't getting likes, I wasn't getting reposted, people weren't sharing, so it was becoming very hard to put out work and nobody's recognizing you. It's like, am I just doing this in vain now? But I was still doing it, but I was slow with it. And then it got to a point where I just wasn't doing anything, and I was just liking other people, I was promoting other people, but nobody was promoting me. And I said to them, yep, this is the last performance. And they were like, no, Jess, you can't, you're amazing. If I'm going to the top, you're going to the top. And sometimes people are just full of chat. So I just thought that these guys were just full of chat about like whatever. I'd done the performance, and that was it. I said, yeah, that was it. I deleted all my posts, all the work that I put out, I deleted it. And at the time, Instagram didn't have the archive option, so you couldn't even archive your work. Or maybe they did and I just didn't know, but I just deleted everything. I was about to shut the page down. I remember I put up posts. I was so a woe is me moment. I was just in my own pity. And I said, yep, guys, I'm not doing spoken word no more. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, why? I was like, no, it's long, dead this. And lo and behold, that same very week, I got a call from Terrell, and Terrell told me, Kanye King wants to put me, you, and Mr. Reed together, and she wants us at the Marketing Society. She thinks that we're amazing poets. She wants to put us together. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, it's in about 2 weeks' time. Get ready, we've got to come together. So we came together, and yeah, I wrote a poem then, and it's the poem that I done in the Breakfast with Winners called Before You Quit. And that was basically my life of how I was feeling. And it was before you quit, remember why you started. And from there, I just continued to blow, should I say.
So you didn't just get close to sort of like chucking in the towel, you'd actually chucked it effectively. Yeah, and you had to come back, you had to pick the towel back up.
Do you know when you kind of swing the towel, but then you kind of grab
the end of it?
The end of it, that's what I did.
Wow, it got that close.
It got so close. Deleting the page. I set up my personal page, because in the beginning I had a personal page, and I deleted that and I became Poetess Jess. And then it went from being Poetess Jess, getting these headliners, to nothing happening for me no more. Comparing myself, doubting myself. I didn't even think I was even that good, because I looked at other people and I was like, sometimes I'd look at people and be like, you are talking the most crap. How do people like your work? So that was my mentality. And then, after that Kanye King collaboration that she put us together, it went on from there. It was just heads up from there. Do you know when they say when you reach rock bottom, the only way is up? And
you were there.
That's what happened. I reached rock bottom, and then I could only get up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where do you think, what would you have done if you had have thrown the towel in then? Would you have gone and got gone back to retail, or gone and got a normal job, or?
Definitely, I would have been in a 9-to-5, fulfilling somebody else's dream, or I would have been full-time working with my mum and my dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Different world then, just a bit. Great question, Marvin. Thank you very much for that. Hashtag Team Handsome. The reason we all say that to Marvin is we actually met him in person, Jess, and he's the most handsome man you've ever seen in your life. Like he looks good on his profile picture, but in reality, he looks like he's been chiseled out of clay. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Right, has anybody else? We've had a couple of back channels. Oh yeah, you had a couple. Who did you have? Was it Jagdeep? Jagdeep, you had a question for Poetess Jess.
Question.
Yes, I do. Thank you, Jess. You're amazing. My question is, like, do you know, I work with a lot of artists who do, creatives in paintings and artwork, and they'll always end up creating something around world events. Like in the last 18 months, we've had Black Lives Matter, COVID, now the, climate. Do you ever create stuff around those events? I'd love to know this. Thanks.
Yes, I do. So it's during the pandemic more so, when it was the whole Black Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, that I started to say to myself, do you know what, Jess, you've got a voice, you can, and a platform. It wasn't the biggest platform at the time, but you've got a voice and you can use it. And I remember I rallied some spoken word artists together and I said, okay, boom, this is the idea that I have. I want us to meet. And we couldn't even meet then because we was at the peak of the pandemic, but we met and we done a visual to it. We call it Black is Beautiful. So I do try to write about current affairs, not often, but I do try to write about current affairs. But I'm more so, I think with this spoken word poetry scene is that everybody has their own sort of genre. So you've got somebody that's the encourager. You've got somebody that speaks about current affairs. You've got somebody that is the R&B of spoken word. You've got somebody that's the conscious spoken word artist. So my genre is more the inspirational, motivational type. But I do try to write about current affairs, and I think I should write about it more often. But it's so demanding because there's always something new. So you've got to actually get them while you got them. And yeah, it's hard. It is hard. I'm not going to lie, but I do try. But I have done it. And it was awesome. We got great reception. We had people in New York dance to our piece. I used it for my finals, for my final exam. So yeah, I do. Great question.
Do you with your work, if you did the current affairs thing, because obviously you're always trying to give an impactful message, but there's always, from the stuff that I've heard you deliver, there's always like a positive outcome, or there's a message, or there's something that makes people, it's more aspirational, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that if you had to turn stuff around quicker, or you did stuff more on current affairs, you'd find it difficult to find the positive spin to put on that? Or do you think at some point your art will go down the road of, actually, do you know what, I've got to talk about the dark stuff? Like, it can't always be happy.
Yeah. I think what it is that when you, because current affairs, it's always changing.
Yeah.
There's always something new. There's always a trend that people are following. So with Black Lives Matter, it gave me time because that thing went on even up until now. It was so, in the last year in the pandemic, it was at its peak. So it gave me time, but of late, the only things that I could say I would be able to write about are things like, what's happening with women, where women are being kidnapped and then found dead, or the knife crime that's going on. Things that are still relevant
to your world, yeah.
That is happening, but there are there are a lot of current affairs, like you said, is that I feel like if I did do a spoken word piece on it, it would be quick and it would be slapdash. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I like to know that it sounds great, I'm reflecting the times, and I'm also not just going off on a tantrum. I'm not, and I also like to bring in that positive message. But it's hard to find a positive message in darkness, especially when you got like grieving parents, and they're like, "What can I really say to you at this time?" Because anything that I say might not work. So I try to keep my spoken word pieces generic, so that you can listen to it at any time.
And it'll mean something different to you
at any time.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Love it. Right, we've got time for one more quick question, and then we'd love to get A piece of your artistry, if we may. I know it might be annoying that everyone always goes, go on, do us a poem, Jess, but we're just going to do it, sorry. So Janice had a question, DM'd in the back channel. Janice, you are the final question, no pressure, make it good. And ideally make it in a rhyming couplet.
I'll do my best. No. So thank you so much, Jess. And I remember hearing you quite early on when you came into Clubhouse and you start saying your poetry in the room, and how far you've come in that time. I'm in awe of that and think it's fantastic. So my question is, I personally, I've written poetry and songwriting, and I've used that throughout my life, especially when I've gone through, really difficult bits. I find it so cathartic. And I had my second divorce and I ended up with an album out of it because I just wrote loads of songs, because I needed to get it all out. So for you, do you use your written word to as a cathartic tool to help you to release difficult stuff, or is it always around the positive? Because personally, I find it, even though I'm a really positive person, it's very difficult to actually write positive poetry, or I find it much easier to write the other stuff. So what's it like for you, and what do you use it for? What does it do for you? Thanks.
So my poetry, great question. My poetry, no, I don't actually use it to like release my anger, my stress, my anxiety. I use all of that energy in my performance to connect, so people understand that I'm going through the exact same thing that you are. So I do use my spoken word really mainly to encourage, and I use myself as a voice of hope. Because it's one thing I find that a lot of poets use it to be therapeutic, to release their stress, but I'm not, as I said, because I'm not that sort of poet. I just use it to encourage, to inspire, to motivate people, and everything else, all that worry, all the anger, all the doubt, I just imagine it as a big ball that I'm going to throw out to the audience, and I just conjure it into one, and I use it just to deliver my pieces.
How's that for an answer, Janice? Fantastic. I've absolutely loved this morning, Jess. Thank you so much for coming down. Thank you for giving us your time and sharing your gift with us. Great to get a local Ilford talent in the building as well, eh?
Manor Park, just up the road.
Sorry,
just up the road.
Yeah, don't get it wrong. Don't give her this postcode incorrectly. Right, we would love, if you don't mind. Marvin mentioned that you did a Clubhouse piece. Do you remember that?
I think I remember it.
If you do, great. If not,
cool.
We will let you do whatever. We are your humble audience for the next few minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only poetess Jess.
Is the mic loud? Because I'm a bit assertive.
Okay, no, you're all right. We can turn it down if it gets too much.
All right, here we go. What do you call it when your palms are sweaty? When your brain is on death row because your thoughts are deadly? When your back is in a slouch because the weight of being unsure is so heavy? What do you call it when your own thoughts are against you? When anxiety is your brother and stress is your nephew, when doubt is your mother and your failures correct you? What do you call it when you can't get on your feet? When the world says you can't and your own brain says you're weak? When your faith is a mess and you start to trust God less, day by day, your faith gets less. Day by day, your faith gets less. But let me tell you that you were graced for purpose. And everything that you went through in your life, you went through on purpose. Only for you to give birth to your purpose. You see, you were designed for destiny. You were called to be mighty. You are a landmark of greatness. Your character is courageous. Your energy is contagious. Your mindset is blameless. You are giving and gracious. You are not selfish, but you are selfless. And it's not that you do not think about yourself, you just think of yourself less. So get rid of all that heavy weight so that you can become weightless, because today you will understand that excess isn't needed for access. And please, Close that final chapter in your life. You are not a book, you cannot be read, but you are the Kindle. You are the light to the flame. Just allow the Lord to light you like matches the world can't match, just because you are matchless. And please, stop going back to see if they finally understand you. If they didn't understand you back then and you've grown, why would they understand you now when you've come into your own? Dust off your crown, go sit on your throne, because you are the star that everyone is wishing on. It's your hour, it's your season, and know that your set time has come. So please, before you quit, remember why you started. Remember why you lit your flame, and remember why you sparked it. Remember why your peak is still worth climbing, and why you can't stop, and why you've got to keep on striving. Remember, everything happens in God's timing. It's all about aligning and appointed timing. It's so easy for you to walk away because you feel like you're being left behind in your own lane. You keep swerving from lane to lane, and now you find yourself in the watchman's lane. You sit on watchman's lane. Some of you on this stage can't even pass memory lane. What a shame. Maybe you've slipped, you've tripped, and you can't even pass it. Sometimes you can't call it the past because you haven't passed it, and now you mask it. Well, I'm so happy that life today is going to come and give you a slap in the face, only for you to touch base with yourself because you've been sleeping on yourself. But listen, don't ever let your setbacks set you back. And if you take a blow, you better blow back. Let your setbacks know that they're never going to blow back. Know that your mind is like soil. And whatever seed you plant will unfold. I've been told the very trees, they lose their leaves only to blossom in the summer. That means you are on the come up. Just realign. Growing from the ground up, you're a vine. Stop focusing on life the wrong way. Focus on your finish line. See, your race is not their race. So stop comparing your beginning to somebody else's middle. Lanes are parallel, and guess what? We are all just in the middle. Don't ever think that your failure is defeat. Don't ever think that your progress is little. Do not choose to be defeated, because you are not an inconvenience. What you are is a convenience, undefeated. And if I can get you to believe this, then lesson 1 is completed. In fact, guys, I know your mics are on mute, but just repeat this. Say, this being is becoming. Say, this being is upcoming. Say, this being is forthcoming. Listen, this being is coming back for everything that they ever stole from me. My confidence, my self-esteem, my dignity, and my sanity. Now is the time that we no longer stop. But we just take pauses. We don't look back, but we keep moving forward. So before you quit, remember why you started. Remember why you lit your flame, and remember why you sparked it. Remember why your peak is still worth climbing, and why you can't stop. And why you've got to keep on smiling, and why you've got to keep on trying, and why you've got to keep on fighting, and why you've got to keep on climbing, and why you've got to keep on thriving, and why you've got to keep on striving. I'm Poetess Jess. Thank you so much for having me.
How about that? Poetess Jess in the building. It's always comes through the microphone so well on Clubhouse, but to hear it actually on like a proper mic in a proper studio through proper headphones, that was mega, mega, mega powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, go and find her. Go and give her a follow here on Clubhouse, and go and follow her on Instagram as well. If you've got events coming up, if you need something that's a little bit different, if you are someone that needs to inspire your team, motivate your people, I think I'm trying to do a poem now. I've actually turned to Poetess Jess. Then please feel free to get booking, because Jess is cooking. Sorry, I've ruined the vibe, guys. I killed it. Oh, I couldn't help myself. What a genuinely fantastic morning. As I say, I listened to your interview with Lucy Ed. I was like, I've really enjoyed diving into your backstory this morning. It's been fantastic to get to know the person behind the talent. It's also been great to have the opportunity for people to ask about that creative process, because, you know, the amazing stuff that you do for 5 minutes obviously is there's a lot of work that goes into the pre-production of that. So thank you for sharing your journey with us. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, anyone who's on the stage, please feel free, one more time, unmute yourselves, unmic, give her a whoop, give her a cheer. The one and only Poetess Jess, everybody! Poetry corner. I reckon we should do a poetry corner. I'll kick it off, lads. Don't even worry about it. Right, fantastic. What a brilliant morning. Thank you so much for being here. As always, it's been a brilliant week of content here in the Winners Club, if I do say so myself. I do say so myself, guys. There is no Breakfast with Winners tomorrow.
Please don't do any more poetry again, though.
I won't.
You.
Have you not played it? Because I just was talking to someone.
I played his messages.
Yeah, but let's not kill it off. Let's end on a high, guys. Let's end on a high, guys.
I gave him A for effort.
A for effort. Yeah. It should have been E for effort.
No,
Every sense of the word.
We were trying to have a conversation. It was just like, we were all talking, but James's replies were just poems.
It's art. It's art, guys.
If
you don't understand
exercise
it.
that craft, James, I swear.
I'm going to exercise it. Every
you
voice
could be
note.
the next, I don't know.
Something.
Yeah, you be the next something.
It's going to be something. It's going to be something. Cheers for your ears. As always, thank you guys for being here. We will see you back on Monday now for more Breakfast with Winners in our new fantastic format. Whatever you get up to this weekend, have a fantastic weekend. Ta-da. Goodbye.